Good evening and welcome to the Air Conservation Commission meeting. It is March 24th, 2016. Please join me in a pledge of allegiance to our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. After last meeting's noisy time where that phone kept vibrating and finally Jess figured out it was her, could everyone please turn their phone off or set it to vibrate and place it somewhere gentle? I have actually killed mine with the cold, so it's just a prop now.
I just turned mine down, so I'm feeling extra special.
There you go.
Beat you there by 30 seconds.
All right.
So you had to say that on camera. Single
It's going to be in the minutes, right?
Isn't it? All right. Do we have any changes or differences with the agenda for this evening?
No, unless you want to talk about beavers some more.
No.
All right.
Not at this very second. Any further discussion? All right. I would accept the meeting agenda as written.
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Since we are running on track, do we have meeting minutes to approve?
We do indeed.
Thank you very much. Did anyone have a chance to look at any of these?
I had a little qualm with one. Yeah. You said, when you typed it up, you said arguing about if we have jurisdiction over non-jurisdictional land. And that doesn't really work, like logically speaking.
Well, hold on a second. So what, do you remember in what context, which,
It was in the bylaw discussion we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like taking some of the ACEC rules and regs and sort of extending that and trying to, like, if we were going to play with that into the bylaw, and Jess wrote it up as like jurisdictional, non-jurisdictional, and contrary to each other.
whether or not Concom would have jurisdictional authority to regulate non-jurisdictional land through which hydrologically connected water flows. So actually, it actually does make sense. So what she's saying is, in other words, would we have jurisdictional authority over land that would normally not be jurisdictional because it was between areas of an ACEC, but because it was between areas of an ACEC, is it therefore jurisdictional?
No, that's still not what I was saying. I was talking about, so the ACEC rules and regs belong within the ACEC.
Okay.
And then the Concom rules and regs, you know, the Concom's jurisdiction is X. And I was suggesting taking the ACEC rules and regs and applying them within the Concom's jurisdiction. I wasn't saying to go beyond any jurisdictions of anybody's sort.
Oh, I see. You weren't having an issue with what she wrote as what she wrote. You were having an issue with how it applied to what you said.
Yeah, that works too.
Well, you can only comment on that if you have a suggested change in wording. Well, you can
How big is a rain cloud? We're having this discussion today, arguing about a database. Well, how slow would be okay? No. Slow is not okay. Just not. All right.
So are we changing that, or?
I mean, if you want to, but it's
Well, so hold on a sec.
if anyone's going to read them, they're very easily misinterpreted, I would suggest.
all right. Including whether or not, so the intention of the discussion, and of course we could go to the tape, Bob. The intention of the discussion is that we would apply ACEC rules in the area of our jurisdiction.
Effectively, yes.
Would you like to modify the second paragraph under discussion air wetland bylaw revision to say same?
Sure.
Concom members and Concom administrator discussed revision of the bylaw, including whether or not Concom would apply ACEC rules in the areas where Conservation Commission has jurisdictional authority.
I'd say that's pretty tight grammar.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
If 3 high schoolers has taught me anything, you actually can't say that's pretty tight without a. So I don't know what it means, but. Okay.
Logical.
Other than that minor diversion, do we have any other comments or changes to the 3/10/2016 meeting minutes? I got that email you sent about how you thought they were sloppy, but I didn't see any changes. I would accept a motion to approve the meeting minutes as written.
As a
As amended.
As amended.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. She didn't really say that. I cleaned it up. Cleaned it up. Changed it to sloppy. Do we have a palette of announcements, or are these them?
Yeah, the announcement is that nobody, as far as I know, is going to be here. We haven't received the check from one of these railroaders. They put it in the mail yesterday. So if you want to let that slide, to next time, if you want to just sort of sign it, and I'll wait until I get the check to send it off. They're both the same thing.
Wait. Is this an RDA for spraying?
No,
That's what it says.
no. It's an RDA to re-up on the prior delineations on wetlands and such areas from 2011. And there's 2 different railways asking for the same thing. And we did the same thing last week in Natick, where all of the spray, limited spray, no spray zones, they're up for renewal. And so to renew them, they have to have the delineations renewed as well.
Interesting. Interesting.
What exactly are you doing?
The delineations from 2011 for limited spray and no spray zones and
Right.
resource areas along the rights of way.
So the 7:15 and 7:30, they won't be here tonight?
Right, one said if you guys can work without him, that'd be great. And the other one said that he couldn't come and he's happy to have you deal with this without him if it turns out positively. And if you want to have any discussions, they'll find time in their busy schedules.
What a guy.
I would have loved to have had that on tape. All right, well, you know what? Okay, so I'm just digging a little here. Okay. Sandy Pond Road, house construction, model open space design.
The one, Bill has both of them, and the other guy sent out a full packet. So, Bill, you are actually, I think you've got the Keolis.
Okay.
The only one you have?
I have both. I have Keolis and I have Keith L. Morris, and in fact,
Nope.
Keith L. Morris
Everybody's
seems
got
to be-
Keolis. You've got the only Pan Am.
gotcha. Okay. This looks interesting right here. Okay. We have natural resource protection zoning, violation enforcement. We can discuss that at that time.
That's all side stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I saw this was interesting. I wasn't sure what this was. The Burns family. Okay. We're just shelling out the cash. All right.
Hey, it was top sheet of you
What was it?
to buy the systems of the 3
Well, that
workers.
is lovely, isn't it?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
went out and bought 25 of them.
Okay.
So, pursuing that idea.
Look at
That's
that.
cool.
Wow.
Nice frame.
That is nice.
That is awesome.
What,
Yeah.
what did they call it again?
I believe it was Robin's Egg Blue.
Robin's Egg Blue.
Robin's Egg Blue?
Springs, East
It might be
Actually-
Robin's Egg green, but the important thing is you guys were totally ripping on the Robin's Egg color code.
that is awesome.
And appropriately, and we didn't even know it. That's awesome. No, what's more interesting is actually what it looks like is one of the ornaments that hangs on the Christmas tree on one of those cartoon Santa Claus shows from years back. What was the Rudolph one?
You need a really big tree for that poster.
No, that color. Looks like the ornaments that hung there. However, at the same time, based upon our Robin's egg green color scale, and actually is right in there.
And if you look real closely at the metal, there's a little, I think it's striations, the little stripes in it, which lines up real nicely with, the way I did the parcel coloring. I'm just saying, artistic, crossing all my,
That's worth a while. That's
You got lucky.
good.
You got lucky, and that's good.
and then you see the binder up to the right.
Yes.
So that's all the addresses.
Oh.
And I've got a little metal chain, and they attached hooks in the bottom of the frame, so I can chain the booklet to the frame. And I'm assuming you all saw the email I put out where Cindy put this all live up on the town website.
That's really good.
I didn't have a chance to go look at it. I saw the emails back and forth about how it wasn't working at first. So,
I'm surprised you saw those for some reason.
and those are the ones I caught.
So yeah, the poster in that form is available online. The poster in 8.5 and 11 is available online, as is that red binder. And they all work on your mobile device. And so if you are at, 0 Main Street and you want to know if that, you can pull it up.
That is fantastic. That is a
Yeah.
huge difference.
Yeah, here's hoping.
I think we've just entered the 20th century. We're steaming along.
Hey, nothing like Robin's egg to move the world forward.
No, this is really great. This came out fantastic.
Yeah, I am very quietly excited about this. Well, low tone, I'm not.
We might have to
You
speak
should
on
allow
that
yourself to enjoy the
definition.
moment a little bit, Brian.
I'm
What
verbose
are,
about it.
What are these gray areas?
Which ones?
This hatch here?
That is the wetland and the river protection cross-hatching.
Really?
There's actually very few parcels with only riverfront, and most parcels with riverfront also have wetland.
Sure.
But down by George's right hand, there's a spot that there's 1 or 2 parcels in there. They're just rivers.
Interesting. Well, this really did come out great.
Yeah, hopefully now it gets used.
No, I think you'll find it will.
Alicia wants to have a ribbon cutting for it. Which makes it a good excuse to have like tea and cookies.
It's always a good excuse to have tea and cookies.
Or frozen whiskey sours.
Ooh.
On that note, thank you for preparing it, and the frame, despite the concerns, is a good match. Who knew?
Yeah, tell me
Robin's
about
egg blue could be so green.
it. I was not one of those people that knew. I'll say that much. Yeah, and if you change the angle of the light, it kind of goes back and forth between green and blue.
It's never blue. But that's all right. Okay. So other than the announcement that what frame company is this?
Oh, jeez. It was
Is this in Sudbury, you
big
said?
picture framing. They actually have like 17 locations in the metro area.
No kidding.
Yeah, didn't know that.
Did we get money off for you saying that? Because I mean,
Actually, probably, because they just threw me an extra 20% discount just for fun, because I was like, well, I don't know. So
and
I
where
opened
is
the
Big
website.
Picture located in Sudbury? On Route 20 or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out also after the fact, I found out there's one in Natick at the mall.
Really?
Yeah. It took me a long time to
The
realize
real Natick Mall or the fake Natick Mall?
the fakey one.
Ugh, whatever. All right. When I was a kid, we had Shoppers World. Does anyone remember Shoppers World?
We still have Shopping World.
Ferris wheel.
I never saw the Ferris wheel. But the real Shoppers World was the first open air mall in the United States of America. And then there were people who debated it and said, no, there's one earlier than that in Minnesota or something. And it was like, no, this was the first one. And you had Jordan Marsh at the end, and the other end was wasn't Feline's. It was
Jordan's basement.
is Jordan's basement, right? And then there were all sorts of stores and shops, and they had the huge iconic toy soldiers at Christmas time, and it was a fantastic place because you could stand inside the mall and it snowed, and you'd watch the snowfall, and it was just it was an amazing slice of America. And then they tore it all down and basically paved 75 acres and put stores around it. It looks like a dog's behind. So,
I don't
anyway,
know about that whole area. at this
I bet it's even actually more than 75 acres that's paved. It is disgusting. It is ridiculous. Anyway,
Been to Texas?
what's that?
Been to Texas?
I have been to Texas, although our drive
Sorry.
took us through the back roads from
Yeah.
Dallas to Houston.
You know what could fix this? Beavers.
Yeah,
And save
it all comes back.
Scientists, what? Acquire what?
It all goes back to
Acquire movable proof that only beavers can save the world. Is that from the Onion?
No, I sent it to you.
He sent it.
Is it from Jezebel?
No,
It's real.
Just-
from you or I.
Sorry, that was a tangent. Let's do accounts payable. Sheet protectors, $6.68. That's $6.29 plus tax. I don't know how that actually works with our tax-free, but quite frankly, for 39 cents in tax, I'm not going to bicker over it. Looks like Brian needed help getting his sheet together. $6.68. I would accept a motion to pay Brian, although interestingly, your credit card, your name's not on here. Brian, $6.68 that he spent on his credit card.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Brian.
Did you bring your,
I forgot it again.
So
Do it
I'll let
next
you
Slide to
write your
next
name
one.
at the top when we're done. Is that the only bill this evening?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move right into our 715 Pan Am Railroad. You said I'm the only one who has this?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to give a brief introduction to what the consultant should have done. It says, applicant is Pan Am Railways Bill Wallace, Chief Engineer, Track and Structures, located at 1700 Iron Horse Park up in beautiful North Billerica. Applicant is requesting verification of sensitive areas as they pertain to the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, MGL, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Mass Department of Agricultural Resources Pesticide Board Regulations 333 CMR 11. The last verification was carried out in 2011. The applicant is asking for approval of the same boundaries previously approved by the Commission. There may be minor revisions based on field observations over the last 5 years. Okay? There may be revisions. This is a letter attached from Keith Morris on behalf of Pan Am Railways. Pleased to submit RDA and accompanying track plans. Oh, so that must be in here. Is this the plan?
Mm-hmm.
This 8.5 by 11?
There's color photos. And Matt's only got the one, right? The other one has got both. I think that actually has a title at the bottom, right? Like Spray Legend, January 2016.
Sensitive area marking key on this sheet.
Yeah, that's January 2016. I'm just looking at the one I got from Keolis.
Yep.
Keolis is the two-pager.
Okay. Purpose of this RDA is for verification of sensitive areas. Drainage ditches are an important component of the railroad right-of-way. Properly maintained carry stormwater away from the tracks, ensuring the bearing capacity of soils is not reduced. Agreed. All right. According to this, 310 CMR Department of Environmental Protection Preface to Wetlands Regulations relative to Rights of Way Management 1987 Regulatory Revision. In 1983, the Mass Pesticide Control Act, Chapter 131B, was amended to require notification of CONCOMs prior to application of herbicides on rights of way. DFA instituted generic environmental impact report. Regulations require persons proposing to apply herbicides right away first receive approval of 5-year vegetation management plan, yearly operating plan, and sensitive areas, professional management protection, eliminate duplicate review, do whatever they want, non-exempt employees. During public comment period, several items of concern, presumption of versus limited project. Okay. So for those not caught up, over the last number of years, these folks have come to us and they've told us every year that they're going to do their spraying. They reference this management plan. So according to this, the railroad tracks pass through Forge Village in Westford, and then this has to be Littleton on the Spec Pond side. So this is interesting. So Pan Am Railways is saying that the only place they run through, that's Littleton, that's that's Nemco Way, and Wagon Wheel Drive, which is over here. They're saying that their only stretch. Can you find Wagon Road there? Is that it right there? Okay. So where's the track? Is that the track? Well, it doesn't end there though. That's queer.
Probably going up to here.
Yeah, probably continues. Well, so here's the funny thing. It shows them running by Spec Pond and then running across Wagon Road and then coming up and crossing at Willow Road. So they do the main crossing there.
Yeah.
Is that the right one? Yeah, that's got to be it.
Yeah.
Okay. So according to them, when they come through here, they have a no spray zone at Spec Pond, which is right there. They have a no spray zone right there. And then they have limited spray zone until they get into the wetlands. And then they have a red area, which is water supply zone. And it says, at the bottom, it says spray every 24 months. So that's odd. So are they saying that they spray every 24 months, or they only spray these areas every 24 months?
So when we did this last week in Natick, basically the limited spray is in every 2 years they come through. So basically they alternate years on the spraying.
I got it. Okay. So interestingly, they do address our water supply zone, which they graced with the railroad and their parking facility. Some people might remember that. And then when it gets into here, then they don't show anything further.
Well,
That's
it
all
might
right.
help you if you take a look at the Keolis map.
Oh yeah, no, I can. But Pan Am Railways is saying this is the only area that they're documenting.
Right, and I think it's that Keolis is doing the job on the main line and they just have the spur.
Let's see.
There's one
Is
more.
it just the one page?
No, it's
Oh,
two.
Thank you. Must have missed it. There it is. Thank you very much. Like so. I'll get better that way. Okay, like so. So they're saying that the railroad that runs through here is blue, which is a limited spray zone, 1 year interval. Come along, come through here, and they still show it's a limited spray. Come around, come under Maine, right?
There's one area that's a no spray zone on the left-hand side
Yeah,
of the track.
I'm trying to get there.
On the
That's
site
on the
here.
Shirley line.
That's the bridge.
Shirley, you're
You're
kidding me.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's
It's right,
Damn.
it's right when they cross over. Probably water on one side and a little bit of land on the other.
Well, I mean, I ride the train every day, and I know it's right up against the tracks, right on the tracks.
The water?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably why it's a no spray then.
yeah.
Over here.
Yeah. No,
Well, this is the only place they've got it here, and then they've got it here.
You're
No, there's
running
one in the
from
middle.
back Along the, go, 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 keep going, keep going.
Right
keep going,
before
keep going, don't get to
the match line.
Right,
Where
you're getting there,
Flanagan's-
you're getting there.
Flanagan's-
It's right there.
like right,
Other
Yeah.
sheet, right before the match line, and it's just half of the.
Right at the
The right of way?
bridge connecting the ponds.
Well, I
where
agree with you, but
Flanagan's runs into Balch.
Sure. I'm just not seeing that on
You're
here.
not seeing it? It's not
No,
on
the
there?
color doesn't change. Am I missing it? Oh, that little tiny yellow dot?
Yes.
Yeah, can you believe it? Like,
That dot?
yeah.
I see.
Oh, let's just, don't. Yeah, kind of interesting, don't you think?
What does the guy do? He just goes like this. He goes,
Oh, no, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He takes a breather.
Yeah.
So did you guys do a ride along when they determined these? So
I'm sorry, just 1 second.
We did go out and see it, yeah.
Well, in Natick, the other commissioners remembered the details. They were in the truck doing the ride along.
When I first came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, years ago. But remember when we had that crazy discussion? What was that idea we had? That you had to redo wetland delineation every 3 years.
Well, it changes. Beavers change the wetland
It should.
topography.
He's agreed
We
with
sure this isn't on Jezebel? Well, this is. All right. So, okay. So there's one yellow dot, and then it looks like there's another right over here where you cross the Ayer Shirley line. But that's not the river.
That
it?
is the river.
I did not know that the river made up the Ayer Shirley line. Did you know that? That the river was the Ayer Shirley line? I always thought it was neater than this.
I never really looked.
Oh, isn't that kooky?
Yeah, what's really annoying is the Littleton side.
Well, the Littleton one is kind
jumps
of.
the river and then jumps back and then.
Well, it's especially funny because it cuts right through Spectacle Pond. So we had several applicants down here on, two, right? On Wagon Road, including one which was to help a lady because of the fire access to her house, which was actually in Littleton, but the road passed through Ayer. Anyway, okay. So now that we know that this is Keolis, let's return to the discussion at hand, which was Pan Am. And Pan Am says that they are passing Spec Pond, and they show they end right here at Willow Road. So, they have the same type of delineation. They have no spray zone around the pond, which of course is right on our border, and then they have a limited spray zone. So they don't mention the every 12 months, they say every 24. Interestingly, they have two different colors on here, limited spray 1 year, limited spray 2 year. And they have a no spray zone. So Keolis actually has a no spray at all. Well, this says it's no spray, so. Okay. So based on that, based on the application before us, they're saying that their railroad track has a couple of areas with limited spray. And of course, the water supply zone, which is over by the Grove Pond, over by the Spec Pond well.
Yeah, and the consultant who submitted that one, it says in the cover sheet that he'll be doing a ride along during the spring. And I don't think Keolis is claiming any such thing.
Yeah, this is Keith Morris. Wasn't he the one who did the last time?
His name's familiar.
Yeah. Says he's from Leeds, and I remember we had to look up where Leeds was. All right. I guess the only question is, does anyone feel like we need to do the ride-along this year in order to Be certain that they've marked the areas properly. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? Jess?
Just that I don't know that I would contribute anything if I did it.
It's not a terrible thing to say. George?
No, I mean, the way they do it is they spray down close to the tracks and not going over the embankment or anything, so they coin it anyway.
Do you know how far out the spray goes?
It's basically just the width of the tracks,
The width on either side?
yeah.
And they have a deal where they turn the wind off that day, so it's usually really efficient. Okay. Do you feel there's any benefit in doing another ride along with them?
No.
Takshu?
Oh, yeah, it would.
Wait, and be careful, you're on the queue list. We're on,
Yeah, I know.
stuff.
Other than it would be cool to ride along with them. I do that.
Yes, there's nothing like a pesticide day.
Yes.
Bonnie?
I mean, I'm just looking at the map and thinking about it sort of logically. Isn't there a lot more wetland there than kind of meets the eye?
Well, I think you'd be interested to find, I think there's actually probably a lot less than you'd imagine right up close to the track.
Yeah.
So actually, as one of our train ridership, do you feel like this, does the train really go up this way? This isn't the way the people train goes, is it?
No.
People train cuts
People go
off.
at Biford,
Yeah, so you would never
goes
go
off to
this
the
way.
right, yeah.
Right. Well, that's too bad.
I know, it would be nice to,
Well, no, I just mean,
See
it's
what's going
easy
on.
for you to tell us about the people train, but it's kind of hard for anybody to tell us about the freight train, because
Yeah.
obviously,
yeah, you can't see. Unless you ride your mountain bike along the tracks and take
Or-
a gander.
if you've been accused of being freight. All right. So, I think what, as far as I'm concerned, they're spray zone, no spray zone, limited spray zone. If he indicates that he rides along with them, I guess once again, we're torn by the practicality of, do I want them to spray in the areas where they're working? No. Do I want the railroad to become undermined by trees that grow up next to the railroad tracks and make the train tip over and spill whatever's inside of it, which, quite frankly, they don't even have to tell us about? No, I don't want that either. So, I think in the areas around the train, it is probably, if I may be so bold, already so polluted. I'm not really worried about that anymore. Any questions or thoughts on the pollution level in the area around the tracks?
It's a whole another discussion, isn't
It
it?
sure is. However, I also don't have any issue with this. So, please put together all of your info. And you said I have the only copy?
Yeah, so I'm gonna need that one.
Sure.
for-
Well, there's two here. And this one looks awful original.
Do they only turn into one copy?
Just trying to make sure I don't take the one with the signature, sir. No, this is you. Okay. All right. Based on the idea that this RDA reflects the areas that they're not going to treat, and that this is a very short run of it, and we can discern that the majority of the area where they're not going to spray actually is in the area where our well is, I would vote to issue a negative determination of applicability. I would accept a motion for a negative determination of applicability for Pan Am Railways.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Points of technicality, they have not given us the check yet. So do you want to refrain from signing, or do you want me to refrain from mailing?
Refrain from mailing is just fine.
Okay.
Okay, but good thinking, because it's all about the money. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Excellent. Okay, please pass that. Oh, no, wait, sorry, wrong one. Sorry. Let's pass that down. Okay, next, and interestingly, very similar to the last application, open the public meeting for RDA for Keolis Commuter Services, as we just discussed. Basically shows the same thing other than the two yellow dots, one at the river and one at the crossing. They have a 2-year limited spray zone
Oh, okay.
right here into Littleton. This is the 2-year limited spray zone, and then everything else is 1 year until they get here, and then it is a no spray zone. And then basically, this is the 2-year. Interestingly, right here, they have no markings. Right here is a full-blown spray zone. Only place on the entire track that they show us that is a full-blown spray, not marked, not delineated. Spray, baby, spray.
Where?
Right here.
Right
In
next
Shirley?
to the train station.
That's
No.
the train station.
It's the train
Right.
station.
So here's 2A. Train station is here,
Oh, that's the bridge.
and
They've got that work
it's this
spot.
area right here
It's right
is
in
a
front of town
full-blown
hall.
spray, right across from Town Hall,
Yeah,
directly across the street.
they spray whenever they feel like it.
Well, what's the purpose of that?
Keeping the vegetation down,
Yeah, but it's all built, there's no vegetation there.
because they've been spraying.
Now you know why.
Plus, there's clearly, there's no area for beavers here, which has got to be the other real reason. All right, so from there, passes over, and then again back to a 2-year spray zone in this area, which certainly makes sense considering where you are. So,
Can we make it conditional? Let's make this conditional.
Or,
I'm trying to figure,
Cleaning up along, you spray, you get to clean up along the tracks as well. Come on. I'm serious.
do tell. What would you like them to clean up?
Have you been on the train lately?
As a matter of fact, we have walked the train tracks multiple times. So we walked for the project when they did the switching center that controls controls this line out by the bridge. We walked this whole area here, and we walked. Was it here over? We walked this segment. Oh no, we walked it all the way down. We walked an extensive part of the tracks.
So, around between where Flanagan's meets Bulge, all the way into town.
Mm-hmm. From
Over-
here in.
Yep.
Mhm.
Over the past year, I've noticed an increased amount of probably rail-related debris, right? And they just seem like it's okay to put the debris along the tracks and just keep it there.
So this RDA is for a delineation of wetlands for the spraying.
Yeah, they're actually not asking permission for spraying, they're asking permission for the delineations. Which should make clear
Yeah.
from me.
Okay.
I think we can go get the native tape if you want further explanations. Well, yeah, that was something they did pretty clear. They're gonna spray anyway.
But they just want to know where the delineation is.
Yeah, they're, you know.
I think they're required,
Yeah, they're required, yeah.
Because it changes.
well, they're required to re-up the delineation.
And they're required to have that guy riding along, telling
Yeah,
them,
where it
turn
is.
on, turn on, turn on.
Yeah, yeah.
Although the Keyless application doesn't say anything about having a ride along.
well, you could make that a condition in the deal.
Certainly would be applicable. And there's no reason, to your point, that we can't include a letter. Did you get a check from this one? There's no reason that we can't include a letter that says that, obviously, folks in town have noticed the debris on the sides of the railroad track over the past year, and looking for contact or information to discuss it with regarding who's going to clean it up, since a lot of it falls into jurisdictional area. It's a legitimate request.
Yeah, and if you were to write that up you know, say bring it in and get everybody to sign it. I could just stick it in the mail, and so they have to get, like, I can certify it. I will know they got the letter, will know they read it, and it will be, you know, theoretically something that they could say got lost.
With that,
If,
when we're done, we can talk about the Federal Bureau of Railroads. We can,
we could probably talk forever about that, right?
Don't forget though, Pan Am is the one that got the EPA, the waters problem resolved that I sent to you guys, what, 2 meetings ago? So they are subject to clean water rules, and
Sure.
Pan Am was the company that proved it.
well, there are a number of parts of it. I think enforcing it would be a whole different thing, because that's what we tried to do. They were supposedly subject to EPA requirements when they put in that
Right.
car park area, and they said, no, we're not. And EPA said, oh, we got it. That was the end of it. All right. Keeping that umbrage to myself, I would accept a motion to issue a negative determination of applicability with the condition that Keolis, a representative, of the consulting engineer, be present during the spraying to enforce the different zones, most especially the no spray zones.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion?
I just have one question. So, second paragraph at the end says, so small wetlands, very little wetland situations, and the specific boundary to any wetland is determined in the field. There are no proposed changes to the current delineations or permanent markings in the field from the previous filing. So how do we know that?
So, so number one, by having the person right along, we're enforcing that through them
Yeah,
as a professional. However, I think what I would tell you is that where the railroad goes through, so you were mentioning, where would you say that the water is right up against the tracks?
well, there's a couple places.
Certainly here.
There, and then closer to town where the green, back, where the green.
Right
yep,
here?
Yep, right there. That's very, very close to the tracks. It's almost up on the tracks.
Oh, that's the ditch.
Yeah, yeah.
And don't forget, that's not the whole wetland, that's the wetland plus the buffer. Just for
True, okay.
Well,
Okay.
so what you should know is that effectively there's a stream. It's intermittent, but it runs. So where's the road that runs out?
Yeah, it
Where's
runs-
Norwood?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
See this?
yeah.
That's Norwood.
Right, right.
Norwood runs out like so and connects to this. Okay.
Yep, all the way
There's a
down.
stream that cuts through here,
That was
comes
my-
down the hill, and comes out
Yeah,
beside the HVAC company, to the right of the HVAC company. Then it crosses under the road and comes out where the railroad is.
mm-hmm,
At that point, it ceases to be a stream and it falls into some number of different pathways that the railroad has invented to then channel it into the ditch that runs along the side of the railroad,
mm-hmm.
continues under the road here.
Mhm.
We've actually had a couple of problems with people putting stuff in that
Mm-hmm.
drainage ditch. Runs into that small series of ponds that are here. It runs under the parking lot of the knife company.
Mm-hmm.
And then it runs into this area here, which then, of course, becomes, or is, part of Balch,
Mm-hmm.
which then comes out to the rotary.
Mm-hmm.
So that is probably the area that you've
Mhm.
seen
Yeah.
with water in it.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty large.
It doesn't tend to have water in it all year.
Okay.
Interestingly, the stream through where it crosses on Highland, many, many years ago, we had an incredibly dry summer and it stopped, the water stopped flowing there. It was the only time I'd ever seen it not flow there.
Hmm.
And that was in 2003. And we we had been here for 8 years and it had never stopped flowing. And because it stopped flowing at that time, they declared it intermittent, and that was why Norwood Ave went in.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that became the battleground.
Hmm.
Anyway, so as far as this is concerned, most of what's on the side of the railroad in here has been changed or redirected.
Uh-huh.
This area here, I don't know, between those two areas, I don't know how close it is,
It's pretty close.
okay?
Yeah.
And then after you get out of there, everything else is kind of
Yeah.
off to the sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know that the areas that are specific to this project have changed that much over the years. Only because the railroad has been here,
Yeah. Yeah. Long time.
and if much like in this area, if those wetland areas got in their way, they just filled them and did what they wanted to with them. They did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was why remember we came down there one day, I think that was, Patrick noticed it. And they had opened up what had been a thin drainage ditch. They were having a problem with flooding under the bridge. And so they opened it up and made it into a 10-foot wide riprap area. And then when we asked them about it, they said, what?
Mm.
Anyway,
All right.
I don't know that satisfies you,
No,
but
it's- Yeah, more info. I mean, it just,
it's not just pure pragmatism as much as it is, I doubt we can enforce anything we tried anyway. So, but shouldn't have any problem requiring that they have the ride along. That seems like a
mm-hmm.
pretty responsible
If they don't,
request.
you can write a ticket now, then after 21 days, it becomes illegal there.
There you go.
Mm.
Then, yeah, they have to deal with that.
So maybe the right thing to do, so since we're in the discussion period, is to make an amendment to the motion that Keolis must notify you of when they're going to perform the work and provide the name and the name of the specific engineer who will do the ride-along. That seems pretty fair. And that said engineer would provide a written affidavit post-spray to indicate that the spray zones were followed.
We shouldn't say engineer, we should say professional.
There you go. That's true. Could just be civil. All right. I want to burn you out. All right. So we have a motion. It's been moved and seconded. We had discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. So that takes us to through our two RDAs.
So even with nobody here, we're 9 minutes behind.
What's that?
Even with nobody here, you
9
want
minutes.
I'm not criticizing, we were third.
We missed by 7 minutes. You upset about the 7 minutes?
No, not at all.
Just,
Punt.
so you get the minutes. You started early.
And let's face it, how much time was spent on that frame?
I'm sure. Blame the Robin.
Kind of a frame job, I know. All right, 7:45. Plan changes to 78 Sandy Pond Road. I assume this is the property with the trees.
Mm-hmm.
So you said the trees.
No longer the phone.
What'd you
What
say?
color is your jacket there?
Oh, no.
I have no idea.
No, that's teal.
So did you have to put an ad in the paper and then get a check for this one?
I did not.
Or? Okay.
Well, so
And
I think this is
that's
part
an
of
open
our,
question about what, this minor amendment thing is considered.
Discussion.
It's just a discussion, does not have to be
Yeah.
Well-
posted unless we disagree on the minor plan change aspect of it, and then they have to come back for
And that actually
Finally.
ties into a question I had too on
an amendment.
amendment to an OOC meeting, notice, discussion.
The amendment is a public hearing, full-blown public hearing. Applicant's expense, gotta go through the whole process.
what are we calling this one for Jess's notes?
Discussion.
Fair enough. Okay, so if you please open your plan dated August 2015 with a 3/14/16, says 125 add footings, add plantings, 314 house footprint. Okay. So plant a minimum of 3 live stakes at each tree.
So the thing that changed is the footprint of the house.
How-
You're putting a deck on. And the garage is a little bigger.
Where is the deck?
On the back.
By the water?
Yep. Width of the house has been increased by 2 feet. Small bump out at the front of the house has been included at the garage. 13 by 14 enclosed porch added to the rear of the house as the house includes a walkout basement. Porch should be constructed on piers, sonotubes at the first floor without a foundation. Deck and stairs added at the enclosed porch, similar, built on piers, sonotubes first floor, stairs down to grade.
So wait, is there a porch and a deck?
There sure is.
Porch.
Enclosed porch at the first floor elevation, so that's up on posts. And then a deck at the same height, and then stairs down.
So where's the porch and then where's the deck?
Right here on the back of the house,
Both on the
toward
back?
the water. Yep. The porch, the deck, and the stairs are on the back side of the house.
So it's,
So they just porched a piece of the deck,
yeah,
probably.
enclosed it
Yeah.
for mosquito proof.
And where did the house increase by 2 feet?
In the front on the garage. Does it say 2? Yeah, it says 2 feet. Boy, if that's a 2-foot bump, it's not a very big house.
Thought you said the,
1 was 20. I guess. No, that's more than 2 feet.
I thought those are separate. The bump out was separate from the 2 foot.
No, this is oh, you're right. Width of the house has been increased by 2 feet, and a small bump out at the front has been included at the garage. Okay. So, considering the overall impact, the work that we're talking about is still inside of the area that is within the hay bales, inside of the erosion controls. That's number 1. Number 2, it does involve getting closer to the water. However, the area that it's in goes from 230 to 229. So it's on the edge. It's at 225 to 229. So it's actually not in a very steep area. So it shouldn't be a problem from an erosion standpoint. It is closer to the water, but it is farther from the water than the original house was. Is that shed still there? I don't think so.
I think it's all gone.
Last time I drove,
Did
I
they
can't, I
move
can't
it?
tell you.
I think they moved it to the other side. The white
There's a
shed?
shed there, but that might not be part of that project. It might be the other house there.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought the shed was next door. I just don't, I'm only asking because it shows it on here. Maybe it was existing and now it's gone. Just your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, if they're going to be doing digging posts and stuff, wouldn't we normally review what they're going to do with that dirt?
Well, in this particular case, so we've already got a order of conditions that talks about what they're supposed to do with the soil on site. Remember, they had the area they're supposed to put it, if I remember correctly, yeah, put it in the front of the house.
mhm.
Is that what that crosshatch area?
Yeah. Proposed temporary stockpile area.
Mhm.
And as we discussed, there's really nowhere on that site they can leave it without it being in their own way, so. Any other questions?
At the moment.
Sir?
No.
Sir?
Does it say how many posts they need?
It does not. It does not get into the engineering of it.
Okay.
I think my personal feeling would be that it would be, if it says it's on posts and piers, it's less invasive than putting a foundation in.
Sure.
So if it was that entire line, it's still. Anything else?
Be nice to know.
Miss.
I should turn this around.
It was all miss and sir. It was all miss and sir the whole way around. Well, then you have to mix it up.
Burn.
Burn at some point.
I'll never call you by your name
Now
again.
we're friends.
No, now it's over. All right. So, it would be nice to know. However, my personal feeling would be that the change will not be demonstrably different than the existing construction that they're going to perform there. We're inside of the hay bale area. We have a temporary stockpile area in the front. And quite frankly, when this is being built, I plan to stop by there almost every night to look to make sure that people who said they wouldn't cut down trees and then cut down trees don't do something different with the house layout. But that's just me. So, I would entertain a motion to accept this minor change and notify the applicant.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
So what am I sending them?
They're saying they're submitting a revised site plan, requesting that we consider the additions of the plan as minor. So, based on the fact that this is a letter from a meeting, you can notify them. In fact, actually, one way would be to, I've seen other conservation commissions, they just send the meeting minutes, which seems rude. So you could, if you wanted to, you could write back to Mr. Oliva,
I think, yeah.
you could write back to Mr. Oliva and let him know that that it was considered minor.
Do letterhead or?
Yes. Yeah.
Email or letterhead?
Right.
You said yes.
Well, he said email okay, or would you prefer letterhead?
Yeah.
So, yes, I would prefer
Yes,
letterhead.
letterhead.
Oh,
Please.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Just send him something that says that we do include it to be minor. And how
And ask him how many holes in it did. Yeah.
many sonotubes for
Yeah.
the, although sonotube by definition is a brand, so how
Right.
many piers?
I said holes. I mean,
Sure.
I don't care what they put in.
I don't care what you do with them.
Yeah, just.
I don't know how many holes there are. Fair enough.
Did we actually vote?
No, I think we stopped at the letter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, you know, if there's.
It doesn't,
five
but-
holes- Is it just a curiosity thing? or
He's an
is it-
engineer. He should know it.
Well, okay, but like, if you're putting in like 73 holes, are you gonna wanna change your mind?
Yeah, we'll need a bigger stockpile area. That's a lot of dirt. 73 holes would be a lot of dirt.
It would be. It would
That'd
be.
be the whole deck,
Yeah.
probably.
On that note, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, 7:50, running 11 minutes late. Thanks to that whole discussion. Updating Conservation Commission violation enforcement policy. So we got an email,
Which you all have.
which I just had a second ago. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. What in the Sam Hill?
Pages.
Oh. More
What's that?
additional,
I didn't even know this was attached to the back when I pulled the paper clip off. This was behind the plan. It's from Rob Oliva to Mr. Colleran on March 16th. Hi, Brian. After I submitted the site plan to you, I received house plans for the proposed house at 78 Sandy Pond Road. Footprint is more or less sits inside the box shown on the current site plan. House itself, as shown in the house plans, has a smaller footprint than the box shown. Based on the house plans, the footprint is approximately 2,631 square feet with a 224 square foot enclosed porch and a 260 square foot deck. Total of 3,100 square feet. Current site plan, 12516, has a house footprint that is 2,986 square feet. Based on the actual plan, the increase in the footprint will be approximately 129 square feet. I've attached it so you can see. Also included a sketch shows the actual footprint overlaid on the site plan I submitted to you. Oh. So I'm assuming that the gray is new, because we just looked at a plan that showed the bigger box, more rectangular. So the house actually occupies less space than it did before. Okay, now, I'm actually gonna have to get glasses. You don't need to ask anybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 posts. And I disagree. Because it means he's got 9, and then he's got a slab here at the bottom of the stairs. You wouldn't terminate the stairs on the grass. So there's probably a small slab down there. Actually, this can't be right. That's 14 feet. Oh, it'll be interesting. I highly doubt that's how many piers you would do. Back in 2008, 2009, Massachusetts, along with many other municipalities, increased the loading on decks because the reality is that you have more people standing outside on your deck during a party than you have standing inside your kitchen at the same time frame. And as a result, decks were becoming overloaded. And remember that whole spate of decks ripping off of houses. There was that terrible one in Chicago where the whole thing fell off and a bunch of people were hurt. This is showing that there's 2 piers supporting the end of that. Balderdash, I say. Balderdash.
Do you think there'll have to be more?
They will be. I'd bet that's 3 or maybe even 4. If this is 18 feet, that's 16 feet. There's no way they're getting by with 2 posts. That's just me. Okay. That puts you in the ballpark. So we still want to know the number because I don't trust this.
Let's see what the house looks like.
Absolutely. Okay. Updating the conservation enforcement. So we got this email from Carly. Brian, as you're aware, the Attorney General is not under the supervision of the governor. He's only, quote unquote, inviting and encouraging the AG's office to participate. Also, the EO ends on 3/31/16. Additionally, this pertains to regulations and codes, not general laws or local bylaws. A local bylaw is certainly separate from this process. The governor is stating that any CMRs need to be reviewed. Again, a bylaw would not fall into this category. This is a non-issue as Robert and I see it. So,
Before we get into this, though.
wait, hold on, this needs to be counted. 1, 2, 3,
Signature page.
4, 5. That's 5 negatives in that one thing. Did you send them? Are they here?
Got them. They were the other, they were clipped in with their appropriate application.
Were they?
Form 1 and Form 2.
Did you get the first, did you get the?
I haven't either.
Goes back into it.
Here. That will go behind that, if you don't mind. There we go. All right, so here's one signature page. That means I probably gave you the other one back because I gave you back the original. But let me see if I've got a signature page in here we can sign.
This is all Form 1.
I've never liked this for this reason.
You have 2 Form 2s over there. That are
I sure do. And I'm gonna
different.
put Keolis on the top of this one.
Okay, but the applicants are different anyway, so.
Yeah, but neither page says anything on it. So,
Oh, because you took it out of its original packaging.
because if you take it at all, it doesn't have any marking on it that then later denotes it as the applicant. So in other words, what they should do is when you type in that you're the applicant Keolis, it should have a little box at the top that carries through on every page so you could tell you had the
Right, but
applicant's
it's
paperwork.
whatever. In this case, I printed out all 7 pages, and page 1 has the applicant information, and that happens to be page 6. You just pulled it out of the.
We're saying the same thing. I'm just saying I don't like it.
Well, I'm just saying, don't mess it up and give me,
But this is my copy,
Page
correct?
7.
No.
Not of Keolis? I gave you
Wait,
back.
you're talking about
I gave you back the Pan Am one because I had 2 copies of Pan Am.
Oh yeah, you keep Keolis. You keep
Yeah,
their
right.
application. That's fine.
Okay. But this is their signature page that I'm signing from mine.
Right, and
And here is, this one's right here. Right there.
Alright, so let me take the rest of the
I already sent
Form
you that one
2s.
back, but you can take it too if you'd like.
I need the rest of this one.
I know, but I gave you that already. I already sent it back to you, see? Remember you said that you had given me the only copy, but there were actually two copies. One was a signed copy and one was a spare copy. So I sent you the signed copy of Pan Am earlier. I don't know, Takashi could be hoarding it right there.
I'm lost. All I know is there were 2 copies of Form 2, one for each railway.
I see.
And right now I've got one full package of Form 2.
Is that Pan Am?
Yeah.
Okay.
Theoretically, somebody's got a packet of keyless Form 2 kicking around.
Well, this says Form 2, determination of applicability on it.
All right, yeah, that's the other one.
All right, so somehow I ended up with both. Okay.
So
Please send that down.
brilliant.
All right. Next time, what may make all of our lives easier, you have those little flags?
gotta get some.
No.
Yeah, grab the flags and just flag the page so that we don't,
you can find.
so we don't lose track of it during the process. I'm not purposely losing the pages on you.
Yeah.
I just thought that was my copy of the paperwork. If I wanted to lose the pages on you, believe me, you'd never see them again. I'd give them to the railroad.
Jess taught me that lesson in the first meeting when you took the folder.
She told me to take the folder to teach you a lesson for giving to me in the first place. All right. So, Carly, in 5 separate places, indicates that our bylaw does not fall into the category of supervision of the governor. So,
Game on.
so that brings us to an interesting question, which is, okay, what's our next step? So, at this point, we had ideas about changing our bylaw, and of course, those ideas would require taking it to town meeting. I don't think we discussed timeframes. So, and my phone is dead. When is town meeting? Spring town meeting?
May,
After Mother's Day, you should know that.
I probably should. I didn't know this Sunday was Easter.
Yeah, you thought it was been Easter, a month and a half ago with the weather's been.
It's March. I'm not supposed to have Easter now.
tomorrow's a good day.
Very nice. Thank you.
It's either the 9th or the 16th.
Wow. I'm going to put that on our card. I heard it was the 9th or the 16th. Happy Mother's Day.
Send it in April.
I could mail it now. I could drop it off on Easter, to be fair. She'd love that. Oh, you thought of me already. Okay. So my feeling would be,
Sorry.
No?
This is also mine.
that one too?
Yeah.
That's perfect. So my feeling would be that no matter what the commission chose to do for a bylaw, based on experience with reviewing and revisiting and revising and going back through, I don't see us making a May deadline.
No.
Agreed.
I don't even see us making an October deadline, but it is something to shoot for. So,
I think we could do October.
assuming that there's a special town meeting in the fall. Because remember, annual town meeting is the spring, special town meeting, we have had years without STM.
In the fall?
Yep.
Not since I've been.
Were you paying attention? Telling you, there was at least one year where we did not have a fall meeting.
Well,
I remember.
and all I said was, not since I started going.
I say, I say, all right.
I think I saw you last year. I remember the first one.
So, so I think we're back to that. We're back to that same idea, and this is where it gets tricky. So, I will say this with all the delicacy that I have in me. So, the last time we tried to separate up tasks, it didn't work out so well. So it might make sense, if we're going to do this, to take on the same plan. So what is it that we want in a town bylaw? So one of the things that Mark talked about during the last meeting, which I really liked, was the Reading toolkit, which indicated, if you were going to cut down trees, there was a form for that. There were different ways to help people make use of the bylaw, as opposed to the reactive way of us running around saying, hey, did you see all those trees got cut down, beside the pond? That's disappointing.
Educational.
Right. So put it together in a way that, it says to people, if you live in these areas. And again, this map is going to be, I think, a fantastic way to say to somebody, please look on our parcels in Ayer with property protected by the WPA. Please look on our map. If you have any questions about the color of the region where your house is located, please come in and see us. That's it. No questions. If you do have questions, come in and see us. I'm a big believer in making it as user-friendly as possible, because then people will actually use it.
And so if you're into social media, you can grab the town website and say exactly what you said, post to your heart's content. Be like, as the chair, here's my baby. These are the guys I'm looking after.
I could even reference the frame, I'm sure, at some point. You know what? I would find a way to write that in. That's going to be the key. So the long and the short of it is,
I'm going to nickname my office the Robin's Nest if you keep this up.
you go right ahead. At this point, I don't know why you wouldn't. But I think you should go with the Raven's Nest, because I don't think robins would nest that high. Anyway,
Details.
and we have a raven on a tank that we're doing work on, which is actually really cool. So,
Is it a crow or a raven?
oh no.
It's a raven.
And when it's 4+ feet wide and flies over your head, you're like, that's not a crow.
No.
And it doesn't, there was a,
Yep.
you watch how
Fly
crows
differently.
fight for flight, crows are, they always look like they're really struggling along.
No.
He just took off and and at first I was afraid it was a turkey vulture,
Huh.
because it was so big and the way it was just so graceful in the air. And then I'm like,
Huh.
no, you're a raven. And then he spoke, and that was the end of that.
Wow.
Super cool. Unlike osprey, who I love to see everywhere except where I'm working. So
Well, they don't dive at you, right?
they will come after you to kill you, whereas the raven makes a squawky noise and flies around in a circle.
Yeah.
The osprey will actually drop things on you and actually come after you.
Wow.
So, especially if you climb up the tower that they're on and you didn't know they were there.
That's why the hard hats are recommended.
Well, and the safety glasses, to be honest. So yeah, there's a lot of issue there. Okay, so if we were talking about the violation and enforcement policy, which really is, if I may, segue into what do we want in a bylaw, then I would say that you know what might be the best way to do this? So, would folks be interested in committing to bringing a bylaw from another town, not Groton, that you brought with you to our next meeting?
What's wrong with Groton?
Because it's too close to home.
I like Holden.
There you go.
Holden's got a good bylaw.
There you go. And we looked one up the other day. Was it North Reading's? That was pretty good. Andover has an interesting one.
Yeah.
I actually had to read that recently.
And Sudbury's pretty good.
I'm sure
Sudbury's
Sudbury's
good,
is. And I would imagine Carlisle.
Carlisle's very good. They're a little too good.
Yes, well, they're Carlisle-ish. So, how is your bylaw in Natick?
We cover what's the one? Help me out here, Prodigy. The isolated vegetated wetland.
The ILSF,
Yeah, we cover those.
isolated land subject flood. Yeah.
No,
Oh.
not the subject of flood. The other like pocket wetland. not
Yeah.
subject to flooding though.
The vernal pools?
No, there's another,
Well,
anyway, it's wetlands that normally wouldn't count under state law and we cover it under our bylaw.
Excellent.
ILSF is, if they're under 10,000 square feet or whatever.
well, so
Yeah.
we could do this. We could do this for a while.
Yeah.
So
Just about.
what everyone needs to do is procure a highlighter. And are you ready, Jess?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you mind, since you already printed it out, Miss, providing? Never again. Would you mind? Would you mind?
I'm gonna have it tattooed on your
That's its own discussion point, actually. Would you mind passing the Carlisle wetland, the Carlisle over to Jess?
Yes, I don't mind.
And the reason I say that is that Jess prints things at home. You're not gonna. I'm not gonna. So
save half tree.
there we go. Would you please take a highlighter to that, go through it, and find the points that you find interesting that are missing from our bylaw? Things that you think we should address in our next meeting. And we're going to do an old-fashioned brainstorm. We're going to blatantly steal. Would you please blatantly steal the bylaw for Sudbury? Print it out and do the same. Rip off a highlighter from the office, mark it up, staple it with the office stapler, and then bring it in.
Okay.
Thank you. Because you work for a town government. Would you do all those things? But have your assistant print it out.
What?
Yep. So if,
You guys
if
wanna make
I work
it
for a
work tomorrow?
town.
I know, I
No
know.
assistants.
So if Jess is
Do you have a town
Sudbury,
in mind?
No,
I'm sorry, Jess is Carlisle,
I've got
George is
one.
Sudbury.
You don't have to print it out.
I'll take that one.
Look at that.
No, it's too easy.
That is too easy. Yeah, it would be unfair.
So I was just trying to think of another community that has a lot of. Oh, you know what? What about Wayland?
I've got 4 here that I think might be interesting. That so Brewster, New Salem, Shutesbury, and Wendell
Yeah.
have the natural resource protection zoning bylaws, and so I expect their wetland protection bylaws are probably intriguing as well.
Brewster, New Salem, Wendell, and what was it?
Shutesbury. It's in the blue
Yeah.
box on this.
All right, I'm going to do that one for 2 reasons. So
Which one are you doing?
I'm gonna do New
Forward
Salem.
Thinking enough to do this, they're probably up to some clever things otherwise as well.
well, it'll be interesting to find out. So of course, you know what the primary driver in that area would be: Quabbin Reservoir
Yeah.
and MWRA.
Yeah.
So it would be very interesting to research that for me personally, because my family has property out there.
You just want to learn about rattlesnakes, don't you?
I am pumped about the rattlesnakes, and I'm even more pumped about the people who don't like the rattlesnakes, because it's like they're on an island you can't get to. Let it go. If there was a place to put them, that's the place to put them. For goodness sakes.
People have venomous attitudes.
Ugh. I thought about Slither, but I let it go. I let it go. Okay.
Jeez,
Actually.
Takashi, what kind of humor does your commission have?
Nothing like this.
That's you. All right, we're going to make Takashi Groton, if for no other reason than he should be intimately familiar with it and able to explain it to the nth degree. And Miss Tillotson, you like
Holden.
Holden.
Don't go there.
Just
You have the same color as your shirt.
Because I'm learning how his brain works.
Yes.
I've let like
Take a
there's been
step
like
back.
four or five softballs tonight that have just gone right over the plate. I ignored them.
Not usually like this. I
Okay.
apologize.
So we are using our highlighters to find out what they have that we don't in our bylaw.
Right, take a look through the bylaw and say to yourself, well, here's an interesting section. Like Mark pointed out in North Reading, he said, he mentioned that they had the toolkit which included the tree cutting. I keep coming back to that. What a great way to put a piece of paper outside that the homeowner walks in, he sees that, he grabs it, he goes back down, he reads through it, he has a better understanding of what we're looking for. Potentially, he contacts us before he cuts the tree down.
So.
Doesn't get any better than that.
I'm gonna throw into this, that, the last bylaw attempt looked like, more like a policy document than a bylaw. And I think it would behoove this effort to like keep this on like 1 or 2 pages. Like keep it tight and, you know, really say like, if, like what you're talking about with the tree, that sounds like it could, you know, be a policy rather than a bylaw.
Sure.
You know, and that might simplify, you know, the selling effort.
There will also, the way it's done in Groton is we have the bylaw and we have the regulations under the bylaw, so they're separate. And so you can do what you said, you can keep the bylaw itself
Minimal.
shorter and sweeter,
Mm-hmm.
and then leave the details to the regulations, or if it can be done in a policy, do it in a policy.
And
Yeah.
actually, what Mike Benuta said at our last meeting on this was to keep it as, his suggestion was keep it as broad as possible, which gives us leeway.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so, you know, backing up Takashi then essentially,
Right.
like, you know, you write the bylaw and then you work out the details, you know, further down the line.
Well, let's stick to what's interesting to all of us and start from there. And then, if nothing else, we might run into something that we haven't seen before. We might run into something that we can't believe we had missed all these years, or we might run into something and we say, oh my gosh, that's not for us.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go from there. So that's your homework. And as part of your homework, Brian is going to email everyone 1 week from today to remind them that they were supposed to be doing it. Now, speaking of which, our next meeting is the 14th, right? So it's basically 3 weeks away.
Yeah, you got plenty of time to do this.
So would you please email everyone on the Thursday of the 31st,
Yeah.
and then again on the 7th?
And then on the
Well, the 14th
12th
is
or
the meeting.
13th.
Yes. 12th, 13th, and the morning of the 14th.
Since we do have a violations and enforcement act, what will be the consequences if we don't do our homework? We should think of something. Clean up the railroad.
Yeah. On you.
Consequence
Gonna
of you
pick up
not
trash.
doing this,
You have to
then
watch
you
the
get
tape of
the
this
attack
meeting.
and you
What's that?
deliver it
You have to watch the tape of this meeting.
Right, yeah.
That's the punishment.
That's too easy.
No, actually, that person would then
Well,
need to watch the tape of the last meeting and find the quote of exactly what Brian said to him in the meeting minutes.
Ooh.
Oh.
That'll learn you.
Yeah.
These are actually the.
It was
the
toward the
regs,
end
not
too,
bylaw.
so.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Everybody comfortable with that?
So just make sure,
Yeah,
just
curious.
to point out,
Huh.
so after having said what I said, I realized that, well, what Bonnie printed out is actually the regulations under,
Oh, I see.
Those
what
are
Ms.
regs.
Tillotson
Ms. Tillotson.
Yes.
printed out was actually the regulations under the bylaw, not the actual bylaw.
Not the actual bylaw.
One of the things that the Groton bylaw does right at the beginning, it's almost like a preamble. It basically explains in nice flowery language why we even care.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes into the actual bylaw stuff. So.
You can have a preamble in a bylaw?
I don't think it's called preamble, but it's
Yes, you know we're taking from Groton.
However, we don't want to copy exactly, so we're just going to call it a preamble. We'll take the E out. Because it's kind of rambling.
Yeah.
It's in the beginning
With a P.
with a P.
Yeah.
It's prambling. Actually, I like that a lot. Okay. Next up, natural resource protection zoning.
Wait, back up. Because did anyone actually do their homework that I sent out like 2 seconds?
Yeah.
You gotta stop giving us homework, man.
Yeah.
I haven't checked email this week.
No, that would be a no.
You're,
Yeah, so I
found a
actually
couple
stole a policy from Rockport. for
Oh.
Enforcement. And I edited it and I had to back edit and I sent it out and I said basically, you know, start drawing, you know, write it in and, you know, let's have a go at this. And
Is that it right there, Ms. Tillotson?
it is, and I found Rockport instead of Ayer in one. I
ah,
was like, oopsie.
other than that, you
Other
know. Also, I didn't do that thing with the in addition to. That
Funny.
was totally on Cindy. On the
Oh, wait a
website
minute.
thing.
I couldn't find where that
Oh,
It
was.
disappeared.
Oh, is
It
that
was
right?
there and then
Okay.
it disappeared.
Okay, so it was.
I did see it. I don't know how it got there. That might be.
I couldn't backtrack into the email change and figure out what you were referring to.
It was on the web. It was on the town website.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. So I actually went on the town website the other day, and there are some changes now. It's definitely different.
Oh yeah, they updated it, and it's what's the phrase? It's like not organic, but it moves. So when you look at it on mobile and you look at it on different devices, the website changes according to the size of the screen you're looking at it on. So if we looked at it on this, theoretically, you'd have one line of text going across the top, whereas on a screen like this, it would be a flat paragraph, and on your phone, it would be a long scroll. So it's kind of neat.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I might mention that this, we did used to have an IT department. However, it was next to the department. And that was all we had for the very long time. It had nothing to do with technology. So, can I see the markup that you made?
Yeah. And Jess, did you do a markup?
Very scribbled, because I did it on the train, which was moving.
Thank you, Bonnie, for reading your email.
Moving very close to a wetland, right? So,
Yes. George was on the same train. He must, I don't know, what side do you sit on?
I'm guessing the opposite one.
yeah, whatever one you want.
I have noticed George reading with his eyelids half.
That's what he does during this meeting. What's it like on the plane?
But that should go into the bylaw, right? So the
I would
enforcement.
say probably not, but
No?
what do you think? How do you feel about, enforcement policy and like the point by point by point? I would argue make it a non-bylaw document and just, say we have one of these, look here.
Isn't it usually within?
Well,
No,
I think
No?
Well, this is how we would,
How
we would
we would-
utilize that power.
it's either a regulation or a policy. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
I think
I would
the idea
guess
is
the reg
you.
would be in the regs.
I think the idea is like the attorney spoke about from Copman and Page was that we would end up having a section in our bylaw that addressed enforcement, and then the regulation or the policy would be the actual how-to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, as an example, in the Groton regs, we have our fee schedule for consultants. You establish the authority to put together a fee schedule in the bylaw. In the bylaw, you say, shall have the right to put together a fee schedule. And that's as much as you need to say. Then, when you go to do your regulation, you say, okay, well, here's our fee schedule.
Right, like for instance,
Yeah.
this says that you'll be asked to attend the next meeting, file an RDA or a notice of intent. We might spend
Layout.
2 years doing that and find out it didn't work. And then we would change it and say, no, it's got to be a notice of intent. It's the only way to have teeth. And so
Yeah,
you want to make this separate from what you vote in at
Yeah.
town meeting.
Right.
This is the meat and potatoes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Town meeting is the
Yeah.
plate, and then you get to
yeah.
put stuff
Figure
on
out
it.
how to, right.
But if you guys, do some writing on Bonnie document there, like actually have ideas, I'll just keep evolving this and keep bringing it in or sending it out or whatever the case may be. And this could be the first crack at, group editing. Or I could put it on a Google Doc and you guys, I could send you all the link. You could edit within a Google Doc. And then we would be able to track the edits everybody's making individually.
Yeah, that makes more
It wouldn't
sense.
necessarily have to be in this context, and I wouldn't have to do the whole thing, like taking in your edits and regurgitating.
Yeah. That makes more sense.
So, unless it's a word that I'm not familiar with, it says each day a violation exists shall constitute a spate offense, not separate. Shouldn't it be separate?
Yes.
I think spate is a word,
Spate is a word.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
there
but-
were spate of robberies. the other day.
but
Spate.
I don't think this is.
That's the wrong
the correct
usage
application.
of- yeah.
Plus the $300 on that line.
Yeah,
With the two O's instead of zeros.
yeah.
All right, I'm going more for themes rather than spelling. But
Well, I was wondering.
You should have been there for the great bylaw discussion of 2009. Oh, baby. Remember we were at the police station? Remember? We had pizza. We brought
Oh,
pizza
yeah.
in.
Oh, yeah.
It was like
I
29,
only
it
remember
was like
pizza. I don't
09,
remember the
10.
discussion.
Yeah. We can talk about that pizza at another time.
Was that bylaw or was that our
That was our toolkit.
application? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That was where I discovered, we got pizza from the cottage. I found to be good.
Was that pizza from the cottage?
Yeah,
It was?
that was my first pizza from the cottage, but not my last.
So moving on. So,
So I'm gonna Google Doc this and send you all an editable link. Does that
And-
sound all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Under informal enforcement, though, where we say the the violator shall be asked to attend the next commission meeting and to file an RDA or notice of intent, do we want to absolutely require them, or
Well-
say maybe asked to file?
I think what I would say is you leave it as, I think you just leave it as you must, and then if we decide not to, then
Yeah.
we decided not to.
Okay.
That way that way the applicant doesn't think that they can come in and say, well, it says I might have to.
Yeah,
Leave no hope.
right.
We don't always require an RDA or a notice of intent first. Sometimes we want them to come up with a remediation plan.
Right. I remember last time, with, across from the Zodiac there,
Yeah.
Okay.
Brent,
Review.
Ruthier, right, where we went to, I remember spending a long time on the phone with Joe Belloli, Joe Bellino, rather. No, Joe Belloli's the guy who used to work at the lumberyard. Joe Bellino, who said no, don't, you can do the plan, but incorporate it as part of a new notice. Or the plan represented a new notice. I don't remember which one it was. Anyway, okay. Google Doc, edits.
Come on.
Okay. 8:15, natural resource protection zoning. So where is this from?
So this is a model bylaw from the state. And there was an email sent out from Carly that there's a workshop going on in the vicinity. A state fellow coming to say, talk about this and give a presentation on it. And it's at 5:30 on a Friday or on a Thursday or something. I sent you all the link, or the email. And then I went and looked this up, and this is rather intriguing. And I think this might be worth humoring, if we're working on the wetland bylaw, to talk about maybe seeing if there's some sort of critical mass that we might be able to bring to bear on zoning film. Because what this does is it changes the rules so that the easiest and most likely zoning plan is this kind. And so it consolidates your development into, if you've got, I don't know, let's say a 50-acre farm and you're gonna make it 50 1-acre lots. What this does is that, all right, you still have, 45 units on the property, but we're gonna develop 10 acres of that and leave the other 40, wild and free. And so you reduce the need for all the infrastructure, you save the land, and you still have you don't have that subdivision issue, you don't have that sprawl issue.
It's cluster zoning, basically, which we
Well,
don't,
Yeah, it's,
yeah.
apparently it's a slightly different creature, but I haven't read enough yet to be able to tell you really what the difference is between this and that. But apparently it's different enough from cluster zoning that it's got a whole new title, and the state wrote up a special example, and maybe it's an evolution of cluster zoning. That's the good way to think about it.
Within, you mean near wetlands or not?
Well, any kind of land.
Or any kind of land?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is open space design. I heard it. This is open space design.
But they gave out, this model bylaw, and if it intrigues you enough, and we want to sort of push two carts at the same time, it might make for a nice pair.
Does our,
Well, so, to be clear, right, I'm sure there are some great ideas in here, but the zoning board, who would have purview over all the stuff we're discussing right here, is elected.
It's a whole different creature.
And also, I would say probably somewhat interested in maintaining their grasp of the zoning bylaws.
Mm-hmm. But how should we phrase this? You know, if there was a discussion to be had, you know, you guys would have to be obviously a big part of that discussion, and obviously, you know, a unified front on that discussion.
Well, I agree with everything you're talking about as far as how it works and the change to the plan layout, less infrastructure, et cetera. I understand all that. Everything in here is literally, this is all zoning though.
Yeah.
This is entirely zoning. In fact, there isn't even discussion about our jurisdiction whatsoever.
Exactly. This would be a
A shot over their bow? Yes, it would be.
No, it would be more a, you know, if this body were educated and up on this, you would make a much better conversational partner with the zoning board, rather than the zoning board seeing this, saying they're going to take away our development abilities and, you know, shoot it down. You know, the conversation that's been had a handful of times here has to do with, you know, Ayer's totally built out, there's nowhere to go, and that kind of thing. And, you know, talking with Mark Wessel, there's lots and lots of land available. I just got an email that, Jess, you remember that first day you drove me around, we drove out to the top of that street and down the back, and you said they were gonna put a development.
Kohler place?
No.
Oh, Nashua?
Yeah, they're gonna put something in back up here. They just got the
Oh,
that's the
well, no,
extension.
that's the extension in the 61A area.
Yeah, but they just, so that's moving along. And, you know, there's enough land back there that they're gonna put in more stuff.
Well, I think that's supposedly the zero, you know, energy housing that Calvin wants to put in, right? No idea.
Oh, I don't think so.
No,
I would highly doubt it.
but that's well, I know, just a rumor.
Yeah, sure.
The rumor, no.
Well, the first rumor was that the work that we talked about, which was not off the end of Pleasant, was off the end of Nashua. That area,
Yeah,
we worked with them to come up with a way to do a development in there for 4 or 5 houses.
yeah.
And then it was challenged by the neighbors, and then the developer came through the appeals process with essentially the same design. It was one of those times when we were actually I personally at least was a little flustered by the idea that it got challenged and the DEP accepted the question that they had, which was with regard to where the stormwater was located, and it was the same as every project we had done stormwater on since I'd been here in the first place. And all of a sudden it was an issue on this particular property. It was a little strange what was accepted as worthy of appeal. Anyway, through the appeal process, they came back and they said, no, see, it's okay. And the state said, oh yeah, you're right. And that was the end. Right up until the town came and challenged them and said, actually, under Chapter 61, there's a right of first refusal.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows the benefit of Chapter 61
Mhm.
is it's a tax instrument.
Right,
And
right.
they did not come back to the town the way they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
I've not heard another thing on that since then, other than I thought it was directed to K&P.
Well, I think, doesn't that chapter 61 expire at some point?
Only if they, well, yeah, but not if they don't. It doesn't expire, it doesn't start until they actually do what they're supposed to do and
With regard to the right of first
The-
refusal.
right.
Right, so to answer
Oh,
what I
okay.
think was your actual question,
All right.
what I
They
think
can't
the
not-
actual question
they
was.
can't not
it's a
tell a
t-
town and just wait 120 days or whatever and say,
Right.
oh, time's up, sorry.
Time's up, sorry,
Yeah.
right.
Right, to that
Right,
point, yes.
Right,
Chapter 61 is something that you enter into with a plan either for tree clearing, lumber, timber, et cetera, or
Uh-huh.
farming.
uh-huh,
It's a 10-year process. You
Uh-huh.
you re-up every 10 years.
yep, yep.
Anytime during that time, if you change your mind, you have to go back to the town and say, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
I was getting less tax money. I was paying less taxes.
Mhm, mhm. Now I want to do something
Now I
different.
want to do something
like-
different during the span of that 10 years.
Yeah.
I've never seen what happens when it just runs out. we've actually been involved in several projects where the people went to their town and paid the penalty to take the land out of Chapter 61.
Yep.
Rather than just wait till the end of 10 years.
Right, right.
I do not believe if you just wait to the end of 10 years, you have to succumb to the right of first refusal. I think that's the game.
Yep.
Anything in the 10 years, you're on the hook. Anything outside the 10 years, if you just let it run out,
Yeah.
you're paying full taxes again. It's your property to do with as you wish.
Right, right.
Anyway, this property was in 61. This property, the right of first refusal was not offered, blah, blah, blah. But never heard where it went from there. I do know that the town, at least Mr. Wetzel, was not disappointed by the idea that he might be able to tie some of the water mains together through the property.
Mhm.
And part of our walks that went back through there were pragmatic attempts by Mr. Wetzel to find ways to tie the water mains in.
Mhm.
Because right now, he's got a whole bunch of dead end back
Mhm.
here,
Yeah,
and he doesn't, it's not good for water.
right, right.
Anyway,
Anyway, so have a look at that email, see if you want to go to that workshop, and see if this is a conversation you might want to engage zone folks with or in.
well, it's definitely interesting, especially it reminds me of, every one of these cluster zoning reminds me of is Nantucket. And maybe I'll bring the book in next time. Nantucket, back in the 90s, issued a book, and you literally had to buy the book to file for zoning. You had to prove you bought the book. You had to bring the book with you. And it was building with Nantucket in mind, and when you opened it up, it showed actually a picture. So if this was Nantucket, air filters down at the bottom, and Tom Nevers Road, or whatever it is on this side. So if you saw wings, remember it was Tom Nevers Field on Martha's Vineyard. So it wasn't actually, or Tom Nevers Field, it wasn't even actually, it was just it's a road. On the island of Nantucket, everything is curved and there's no straight lines allowed. Apparently they were eliminated in the 90s. Except for this area where Nevers Road is, and it's a straight shot with houses branched off like this. And the building with Nantucket in mind was sponsored by the zoning board, who said, "Oh my goodness, never, ever, ever again." And that's what they said. So, but you talk about a slight difference. So this is about reducing sprawl. Theirs was actually about almost encouraging it.
It was how to get away with, it was a way to do it legally.
Well, I think of it this way. What they were looking for is more about appeal
Yes,
and more about aesthetics,
right,
in that you should not have a driveway that goes straight up to your garage.
right.
Ever.
Everything was sort of at an angle.
Everything was curved
Yeah.
or came in
Yeah.
from the side,
Right,
etc.
right.
And so as a result, you would actually put more driveway in. But another part of it is over there, a lot of the houses were on systems, their own systems, so,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, bigger lot sizes.
Right.
So, anyway. So it is interesting.
Yeah, so, more food for thought, if you will. And if it, I haven't talked to the zoning folks. I don't know that they've expressed any interest. Carly sent this email out, and it came to me. It didn't, as far as I know, on that same email. Maybe she sent it to zoning separately, but she passed this along to me. And so, at least on a certain level, that tells me that Robert and Carly are interested in this from this angle, not just from that angle.
Do you think it's because we are putting together a new zoning bylaw for the town?
It's possible.
Well, so here's the first part of it that has anything to do with us. Certainly our jurisdiction. Page 21, model open space design, subdivision regulations, the design process, conservation analysis, and site design. The design process, it talks about informational meeting, and then when you turn on to page 22, it says conservation analysis, identification of conservation areas and potentially developable area. Primary conservation areas, such as wetlands, riverfront areas, and floodplains regulated by state or federal law, are to be identified and delineated. This seems more on a project-by-project basis. I definitely have to thank you for one thing. The planning board may waive the contiguity requirement. I've never said contiguity in my life.
Where do you see that?
Page 22, right in the second paragraph. We're using that tomorrow.
Contiguous.
Contiguous contiguity requirement. Oh, that's a doozy. What? It's always fun to learn new words. Not just make them up like I normally do. Interesting. So they do actually address our portion of it, but it's more of reviewing the conservation areas to determine, as it states in here, the PDA, potentially developable area. Interesting. Planning board shall deny any application that does not include sufficient information to make conservation findings. Conservation findings shall show land to be permanently reserved by a conservation restriction and include recommended conservation uses. Wait a minute. The planning board shall deny any application that does not include sufficient information to make conservation findings. The conservation findings shall show land to be permanently preserved by a conservation restriction and include recommended conservation uses, ownership, and management guidelines. The planning board's conservation findings shall be incorporated into its decision to approve of conditions, or deny. If I read that correctly, they're saying that, frankly, if you don't put part of your land in conservation, we won't let you build anything there? Yeah,
It's very vague.
that's not legal.
Vague.
Well, no, the deal would be like on that 50-acre lot example, you get your, 35 houses where maybe you would put in 50, you take up your 10 acres with those buildings, and then the other 40 on the lot, you CR it or, whatever.
Stratton Hill actually sort of,
Oh, so did Autumn Ridge.
yeah.
But I believe they did it
Those,
voluntarily
no, they're required under
AC.
endangered species.
under endangered
Yeah,
species.
Conservation management permits issued by the state. So,
But it wasn't due to our zoning bylaws.
correct. Yeah, we don't have clustered, do we?
No.
Yeah, so, we don't really have
No.
anything.
No.
Interesting. Well, this is really fascinating, if nothing else.
That's for sure.
So there is one section with us in it for sure. Okay. Thank you for printing it.
Maybe the way to initiate this process would be through the Open Space and Rec Planning Committee.
That's true.
Oh, absolutely. This is all about open space at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
I'll bring that to its attention when next we meet.
Do you have any idea when you meet again? Okay. Thank you again for printing it out. It's great with I especially, it sounds silly to say this, but after seeing years and years and years of plain white copy, the difference in the colors actually is huge.
And this is closer to Robin's Egg Blue.
This is way closer to resin.
Do you have,
It's a hybrid rubber.
do you have this in PDF? Can you forward it to me and then I can forward it on to the open space and recreation plan?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Before we get to updates, can you tell me if you're going to address these two things that I have here in front of me?
Which two are they?
One is a letter from John and Stephanie Burns saying, "We, the undersigned new owners of the parcels of land subject to the above captioned order, do state the following. We're in possession of said order." Is this one of the properties up on Pingree Hill? Excellent.
One check.
Beautiful. The next is notice of release abatement measure plan, 215 West Main Street.
That just came this afternoon, and I have no idea what they're talking about.
Well,
It's a contamination site.
In West Main?
215 West Main.
So, I think, that's in the area where there used to be a video store at 220.
Was it a dry cleaner? It
Yeah,
was a dry cleaner.
yeah,
Yeah, I know,
yep,
yep,
yeah.
I know exactly.
Mhm.
Yep, that is, yeah.
Oh, by the welder? By the police station?
No.
Yeah,
no.
that's wrong way,
No,
right?
no, no, this is over towards Devon's,
Devon.
just before the Riverbank Gate on the right-hand side.
Sure.
I think right now there's a consignment or
Oh, it's closed.
pawn.
Yeah, no,
Some
it-
kind of miscellaneous goods store,
Nope, that's,
for lack of a better term.
I believe you're in the ballpark.
Yeah. I believe that it's there or in that.
So this actually makes sense on behalf of Calco. So, Calco, I would be willing to bet, but not be certain about, is Calvin Moore. This commission heard an application about doing a storage facility where the old gas station used to be. Remember?
Is this Phil Berry's old gas station? No.
No, Calvin owns that area over there. So it says, in accordance with Mass Contingency Plan, Department of Environmental Protection, OHI Engineering, release abatement measure plan has been prepared for the above referenced location, submitted to Mass DEP Central Office. Copies can be obtained. Remember we saw the whole thing and we said, wow, how are they going to put that in there without removing all the, cleaning up that area?
Right.
Here it is. This is how they're going to clean up the area.
Mm.
So they filed a plan to clean up the area. That's what it is.
so abatement is another term for cleaning
Mediation.
Cleaning up,
yeah.
mediation.
Right, right.
And release abatement is the fact that whatever was there leaked.
release.
In other words, release abatement. So in
So
other
They're
words,
abating the release.
Yeah, a release.
Oh.
Is what the term they use for a spill or a leak.
So
or-
wasn't that, maybe it was partially done years ago?
oh no.
Because there was a shed, I know there, at one point, because I read something in the library, there was a shed that was built on top of a slab where they dug out in back. So basically what they did, the dry cleaners, they dumped all their hexane, whatever they used.
Oh, sure.
Out back, and it went into the ground, into some, and they dug it all out and had to,
They probably had to do an air pump. So
yeah.
what this is, though, I believe, simply based on the name Calco, what I believe is this is the storage area. So
This would
you've
be
got the
next
storage
door.
area on the side where Dan's breakfast place is, and the disc golf store.
Yep, just,
Okay,
yep,
that's
yep.
on the left side. On
Yep.
the right side of the
Yep.
road used to be a gas station. Screams gas station when you drive by it. Calvin Moore came to us with an application to dig up that area and put in more storage space, like the storage on the left side. So I'm
Okay.
assuming that 215 is that spot.
So it's another site.
Yeah.
Another
So
storage.
Another contamination
The
site?
the other side was 211, so this
Okay.
is right next door.
Oh,
Yeah, so the consignment
Yeah,
store,
it's 211.
okay.
the consignment store, and what was that, Fort
Fort Club?
Club? The first rule about Fort Club is you
Oh,
don't talk
okay.
about
Yep,
Fort Club.
Yep,
But,
yep.
so there used to be the Fort Club restaurant there. They had,
Yeah, the
they had a-
Korean restaurant.
right,
No?
maybe it was, it was a restaurant on one side and then it was a bar on the other side. So
So I guess
that's
my-
been closed down forever.
So my question is, I get it, are there two contamination sites side by side?
Oh, I bet there's a whole bunch. But you had a gas station and a dry cleaner next to each other. I would assume that they were A, different contaminants, and B, run separately. They would have done different things.
Hmm.
So the gas station, there's a gas station in downtown Framingham that closed 28, 29 years ago and has
Mhm.
been left just the way it is because the contamination is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just better to abandon it in place than it is to clean it up.
Mm.
And it's amazing because it's in an area that's very expensive
Mm.
and it will sit there forever until they change the law.
Mm.
So it's interesting that this gas, whatever's there must not be so bad if they're willing to clean it up to do some other work there.
Not so expensive.
Anyway, okay, so that's this one. And then last was, okay, I'm all done with whatever I had in front of me. Do you have any updates?
Let's check. I haven't checked back in with Family Dollar about the trash issue.
So I went back there again the other day, and now that there's no snow on any of it, it's really easy to see. And I guess I'm confused as to why they wouldn't clean it up. It looks awful, and it's beside their business. So I was a little lost on that part.
Yeah, I very much agree with you.
So anyway, do I think it's detrimental to the wetland in the area? Potentially not. Do I think they should clean it up just because they should clean it up? I
You
do.
can see the flaggings on the trees.
Well, that area that they flagged back there was the area that they wanted to make sure that we knew was an isolated wetland and therefore not jurisdictional.
That's what we do in Natick. Isolated wetlands.
So what I did do the other day was I drove over into the place behind the turbo lube, and I was able to take a look down at the work that they did, the culvert that runs through under their parking lot. So as you pull in, remember that day? That day was real cold too. Remember that day we went to go visit the site? Super cold, super windy, and we talked to them about how they were going to open up and run the culvert through. Looks like everything's been done the way that they were supposed to do. The other side's a little sloppier than I would have liked, but it's all in place. So I would continue to ask them to,
Yeah, that's another phone call to have.
take out the trash.
The Willows, did you see that email I sent out? They're going to do that, I believe, on the 8th.
Oh, the walk?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
10 a.m.
Yeah,
What is the 8th?
Friday.
Oy.
Yeah. So I'm out on that one. I mean, I could show up with a 2-year-old, but, maybe everything feels worse.
Actually, it probably raise the maturity level, but
Ooh.
might actually, so 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
I might actually be able to be there.
I could try to be there too, but
Right.
you would be invaluable.
Well, I would enjoy it is what I would go for, but
But again, that should have been something I forwarded on to you.
You did.
Good, thank you. I send you guys so many emails, it's hard to keep track of what I did and didn't remember to send.
no, you've been, lately it's been excellent. I just didn't have a chance to check since like last Saturday or Sunday, whenever I checked last.
There is a new car sale / repair place going in right there in that square.
So it was
Yeah.
a mechanic shop, and now
And-
there's a new.
New
Okay.
owner, and they're gonna refab and refurbish it. I got the
What street is that?
that's right on the corner.
Right on
Oh, they bought that
Groton
lot,
Harbor.
huh?
Yeah.
Groton Harbor at Central.
Oh.
Used to be Sealy Automotive, and then
Right.
before that it was
Across from the
Archer.
gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually got the thing, in our office. Do you have any concerns? And it's like, well, they're not jurisdictional. They're like spitting distance to jurisdictional, but they're not jurisdictional.
Well, so it just depends. It really depends on what they're doing. If they're doing any construction outside,
They're
they're
not going to do any construction. It's just, a question of, if there's an oil spill or, like some grease jockey, gets greasy and drops something. What happens to it? And there's only the one drain on the property right alongside the road. And, I went out and had a chat and mentioned it to him. I was like, look, we don't ever want to see you. And this is why we would see you, and you can see this goes in, and it goes right there, and it's bad.
old-fashioned stormwater drain,
Yeah.
right directly into the resource.
Yeah. And so he said he would call around to some of the engineers in the neighborhood because he doesn't want to see it segregate either. And he actually called to Rob Oliva. And Rob came in and was like, hey, I got this call, what's that about? And I was like, oh, He's like, okay, so...
One word for you, burn.
Well, Rob claimed that they wouldn't be able to do anything at any kind of price that this guy would be willing to pay. He'd go out and do the sidewalk anyway. So hopefully we'll never hear from him again because he's been forewarned that that's the issue, there's a problem.
Well,
It's not jurisdictional and hopefully it stays that way.
it's a storm drain in the street,
Yeah.
significantly far
No,
away
it's
from
slightly different. There's a storm drain in the street and then like 2 feet over here is a storm drain to the same drain on his property.
That's odd.
In the parking lot? In the lot?
Why would that even be?
Such a small.
So bad drawing, but yours are double yellow, and there are the storm drains in the street.
Mm-hmm.
There's that jagged line where property changes, and you can see like, oh, that's older pavement, and then there's his storm drain. There's like 3 in a like, straight line.
Who would have ever allowed that to happen?
Does Mark Wetzel must know about that, right?
Well, I'm sure he has a list of the storm drains, but
Yeah.
I don't know that he's been paying attention to each individual one. It's just a very strange thing to have.
It was very odd looking. Also, in doing all the maps upstairs and cleaning up, I found what looks like all the storm drains in town on a map. If you're ever curious.
No, we
Apparently
saw
have-
that. Remember that?
I don't remember.
No. I think at one point Mr. Bedurtha had that. I think at one point he had that. Remember he had all of the assessor's maps on a disc? I think he had that storm drain map too. Or he found it and brought it in one night and talked about it.
Yeah,
I remember that.
It's a handy looking thing. So now we know where it is again.
Interesting. Oh, does it have a date on it?
Yeah, it's from like 95 or something.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is this? Oh, the MSMCP annual meeting is on a Wednesday.
Oh, the old MSNCP.
You ever gone to those?
No.
Are they worth the truck?
I've never gone, so
At
They're on-
Bill, you ever talk to anybody that says nice things?
If
It's
I-
in Westboro.
If I may, what does Miss Kneecap stand for?
Hold on a second, I might have to work this out. It's the Massachusetts something
Society.
Municipal Conservation, the Massachusetts
Society
Society
of
of Municipal Conservation Professionals.
Wow, isn't that nice?
Anyway,
You guys should go.
well, it's on a Wednesday, so theoretically I could.
There you go.
there you go.
April 20th.
You should go and tell me how it is.
Anyway, so that might come up. Yeah.
No, actually, it would probably be very beneficial for you to go. It would be for me too, but I just can't
What time
take a
is
whole
it?
day off for.
Well, it's a Wednesday
For
night.
networking.
We say Wednesday night or Wednesday
No,
day?
daytime.
Wednesday day.
Yeah,
This
that's
full
fine.
day event will include
Great googly
presentations,
moogly.
breakfast and lunch provided.
Oh, well, there you go.
Wow, wait a
Wait a
minute.
minute.
Workshops and descriptions can be found. Da, 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 da.
I have to tell you, from a professional standpoint, if you worked for this commission and you were on track to work that day, I would say that's work.
Yeah, well, the problem is they're usually on the Wednesday after our Tuesday night meeting. So
Tricky.
yeah,
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Days in a row.
Nothing there. Nothing there. No, I have a very thin roster. The only question that came up recently in my own head was so some of the orders that I put on the OC for the Willows that DeShang looked over and he didn't say anything that I thought were like kind of new and different. You know, he might have a comment about it, just let him slide. And I'm wondering if that means it'd be worth trying to sort of backdate some of the things like on Colder Place and add in some of the provisions that would be new from that. So for example, there was one about all the outdoor lighting had to have a stamp of approval from the Night Sky Association. You know, it has to be at a certain angle down. And the idea is that you're protecting the critters in your wetland.
Are you suggesting that we would take an order of conditions that we had issued and then add stuff to it after the fact?
Right.
No.
Well, is that what it says? The Conservation Commission can do that if they want to.
No,
It's
no,
like
no.
Oh, I,
conditions
no,
on-
no,
no,
you can't do that.
no. Promise.
Maybe I should reread the condition that I thought said that.
I can tell you for a fact that it would not be taken well, no matter how minor the change was. All right. While you kids are looking at that, why don't we do our quick committee updates? Do we have any CPC updates? Did you
Nope.
folks meet?
Nope, not for a couple of weeks.
Okay. Stormwater. It's like saying it out loud.
Number 4. Number 4.
Greenway. Commission reserves the right to require additional conditions if deemed necessary to protect the resource areas and interests as defined in Mass General Law, Section 131, Section 40, with proper notification of all parties. I don't think it, I believe that the connotation is that, for instance, if something came to light during the project that turned out to be beneficial, they were doing work and we said, oh, wait a minute, hold on a minute, you just turned up, for instance, on the Willows very specifically, where they ended up churning up all that material. We served them with enforcement orders and eventually ended up working with the state to condition them to come up with a whole new way to protect the area because of conditions that were not known at the start of work. So I believe that the connotation of the statement is if deemed necessary during the project. So for instance, we couldn't walk in and say all the house lights need to be blue because it bothers bats when they're white or yellow. We couldn't come in with something like that after the fact because that would be different than what their application was about. So in this particular case, their application is to do specific work. So we can change things that happen to do with that specific work. That's the way that I read this. I can't imagine being able to defend changes that weren't related to other items that were deemed necessary to protect the resource area and interest that weren't directly related to the actual applicant's application.
So the, I see what you're saying. The question sort of revolves around, if we just, in updating some of the boilerplate and putting in sort of new concepts, so it's not simply protecting, say, the waters and the soil, but it's also protecting the generic ecology, if you will.
Well, I don't have any.
We can do that then.
Well, I don't have any problem going over and discussing those things, but I know that going back and applying them on past orders would probably not only be excessively bad for goodwill, but it would also most likely face a legal challenge if somebody said, well, actually, no, we were going to put up these lights like this. I'm not sticking to a specific example. I'm just saying, because they would say, well, what did we do different from our application to now that you want to change that? You imagine how the conversation goes. They say, for instance, on the Willows, there was really no question. They had no way to control the material that came out of the hill, which they didn't know enough about when they started work. And they ended up having to go through a whole system where they had to make Joe Bellino happy and hired Mary Trudeau and Deschang to work with them to come up with a situation. Those were absolute conditions imposed upon the developer due to the fact that we needed to protect the resource during the construction process. That's what I see Article 4 as a stipulation.
I was thinking of the light example, for instance, especially of like colder place, because you've got the nice woods going down into that nice water, into that nice dark space on the far side.
Although I did hear on Kohler Place, I think they got a variance so they didn't have to put in the street light or something like that. They don't want one. So. I heard a rumor, but the woods aren't nearly so thick as they used to be. You can see headlights from Sandy Pond.
You have to always be mindful of the protected interests. If it's not one of those, then it's, in addition to the legal challenge of trying to go back and change something that's already been recorded.
Well, is it changing or is it adding? You have the same legal challenge, you have the same.
No, it's a change. I mean, change by addition, change by subtraction, whatever. It's a
And it
change.
costs money to do that.
Fair enough. So I'm getting greedy.
Well, it also comes back to the fact that they didn't have a voice in it.
Right.
It's like,
Because if they want to make a change to the plans, we make them go through a process. They submit their revised plan. We discuss it. If we think it's okay, we can improve it. If we think it requires an amendment, we make them come back with a full public hearing.
So then, just to flip it around, what's the use of that particular condition then? If
Well, I've seen some of them written more specifically to say that for example, if additional erosion controls are required that are not shown on the plan because they end up having way more material moving over the site, the commission can require them to contain the material by putting in more erosion controls. That's kind of along the same way.
Well, we've got that sort of covered in the construction condition. Anyway, it just seems.
I'll put it this way. I believe that it is to give us the power to keep the order of conditions a live document. So when the applicant, again, coming back to what's jurisdictional and what the applicant applied for, and also what were the rules and regulations in place at the time, that's a huge piece.
Yeah, the rules and regs haven't changed, just, the agent's, boilerplate.
Well, I guess what I mean is, so, for instance, when someone comes in and they say, I'm going to do this work on my property, we can't come back to them 5 years later and say, actually, you should have done it this way, if it wasn't in keeping with what their application was. As long as they did what they said they were going to do, that's the way it works.
Or to put it another way, if we succeed in getting a bylaw put in place, we can't go back to everybody who has an order condition and say, oh, by the way, there's a new bylaw, you gotta comply with that too,
Yeah.
All you have to do is step into one zoning hearing and hear pre-existing non-conforming use, and that's what you're talking about.
That's all right. I was getting wishful thinking fantasy, like, oh, they haven't put the houses up yet. We could, quiet it down. It wouldn't be so bad. It says so in number 4.
It leans in that direction. Greenway, anything for you?
No, but except that the
Trails are
trails are
clear.
in good shape.
They look good.
Yeah. I
You got to have a good jump on it this year. That's nice.
need to check out the vernal pool. I haven't taken a close look at it.
We're right on track. And we're supposed to get a lot of rain, too. It was supposed to rain this whole week.
I heard the peepers.
Yeah.
They're
Okay, good.
out, yeah.
Good.
Loud and clear.
It was a couple, in fact, it was actually interesting. It was a couple weeks back. Heard peepers at work and came home and there were no peepers. I was very, very disappointed. But then the next night we could hear them. So,
Oh,
yeah. Because up on the hill, that area up there,
oh, cool.
when they start, it's deafening.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool.
Oh, you're reminding me. I got to call about beavers. I should point out to you guys.
More peepers.
Yeah. Got a call about beavers over here. From the woman on this corner near a nice row of 1 acre plots.
Where is this?
Over here on Robbins Road.
Over at Bennett's Brook.
And it appears the beaver pond is restricted to this larger chunk of property.
It is. We walked that. When did we do that with Callahan? Callahan! When did we do that with him?
About 3 years ago.
Yeah, we had a Becky and a Lee at the time.
Yeah.
So we walked in on a Saturday. I think that was actually the first one we went to, even. Might have even been the very first one we went to. So the folks were letting us know that in the past they'd had a problem with the beavers and the water had come way up. But we didn't see any evidence of it at the time. It was probably higher than when they moved in, but it wasn't high enough to cause any trouble.
They, I had a chat with them and...
Did you pass by? Did you swing out there?
No, it's just a
Okay.
phone call. She's gonna, evaluate her situation and she may or may not make an appearance.
Okay.
So...
If
just
she
sort of
does,
forewarning.
tell her that you'd like to go out there with her and just take a picture or two.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason is, again, we did walk, I guarantee it's the same lady,
Is that on
because
the
it
way
was
to
where
the
the
golf-
road
golf
curved.
Is that on the way to the golf course?
Well, the golf course being up on the hill behind
Yeah.
it. So we pulled in, we went here, we went right to this one here, which is off of Bennett's Brook. And then I think from there, we might have even gone over to the Shaker Road one.
I'm thinking the Shaker Road.
You're thinking of the,
Yeah.
culvert that Mark dug up.
Yeah.
And the other one we were talking about, that's where you were fantasizing about putting a kayak in, wasn't it? And taking a look. I thought. Maybe it's thinking of a culvert. Never
Are
mind.
you thinking of where,
Yeah.
not over there. That's really, it's stream adjacent. It's not a place you would be able to put a kayak in at
I'm
all.
thinking of somewhere else.
You're probably thinking about where a shaker was,
Yeah.
where, up behind the,
The Blue Northern?
Blue Northern.
Okay.
And there's that pond up there, which is
Yeah.
guaranteed to be a pretty good fishing pond. Probably a lot of pickerel in there.
You also heard from Mike Callahan about,
Oh yeah, we're gonna go out for a lap of town on 15th, I believe.
Great. For maintenance or to review issues?
To cover all the bases that we talked about at the last meeting,
Okay.
and basically get some opinions and get some ideas and see what he has to say for himself about it.
Do you know how to get to the two places out here on West Main Street?
No, but I do have the name of one of the DPW guys that was brought up at the last meeting, so I figure I'll just get in touch with them and sort that out.
The long story short is, as you head down West Main Street, here's where the church is, okay? Right here is that Parthenon Pizza. Directly across, if you parked in there, directly across the street is a clear, grassy footpath that goes right over. And where that footpath, there's a break in the footpath before you get into where Mrs. Van Egan's property is. That's where the dam is.
Okay.
That's the first dam. Then the water from there, the water from there comes down over to here, and then here's where the bend in the road is.
Mm-hmm.
There is yet, this is the first street after the church. Where this bend in the road is, you can see another path that takes you out. And that path comes out and there's a fence across it. Where that fence is, right in front of it, is what has to be a 10 or 12 foot diameter culvert pipe that has been ripped up with a machine to clean it out.
Mm.
If we could do a beaver deceiver there, and at this spot where the bend in the road is, and a beaver deceiver over here, that would be beneficial to the town. That's what I was going to call Callahan about, because especially the one over by Mrs. Van Egan. I'm probably Van Vaten. Thank you. Sorry, Mrs. Van Vaten.
Yeah, and then we're gonna talk about Rosewood too.
That one's
while I was
huge.
here.
Well, that one where Mrs. Van Vaten is huge because that's the one that flooded the fire department and caused untold damage in the fire department. It would be good to take care of that beaver dam.
April 13th.
I
Yeah.
believe it's the 13th.
So Rosewood, please take a look at it, but tell Mr. Callahan we're going to hold off and wait to see what happens, because obviously part of the applicant who's trying to get back in there, he wants to put a bridge in there.
Right.
So
This is more of a preemptive while he's in the neighborhood.
sure.
Yeah, that we had suggested to Mark Wetzel maybe when Mike was going to be here.
Yeah, and
We
then
should
this
talk
other, that woman who I just pointed out to you, again,
Oh, yeah.
is in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Mike just head out that way too and get an
Well,
opinion.
what we did was we did a was he wasn't there that morning.
Where?
Callahan, was he there that morning with us walking those sites? Yeah, he was.
Yeah, because he went to,
He did. He's seen that property.
Okay, good. That makes it easier.
Yep. Well, I'm sure he's seen others since then. It was easily 3 years ago. So,
yeah.
but anyway, no, that was definitely one of the areas that we looked at. So
Cool.
I don't think we've had any other. I don't think we've had any other beaver dam related issues since then. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other updates, sir?
I think I've got the next map is slowly spinning away. I think I'm going to do it as a biomap drawing, actually, if you're curious. That's I'm just working through. These are all the things that biomap called out in town as being a big deal.
Interesting.
And
What's the bright orange and blue over there?
More forests.
Yeah, so this is vernal pool, core forest, core landscape block. This is a critical wetland buffer here, and those are critical wetlands inside the critical wetland buffer. And so,
Go figure.
yeah, strangely enough. So between those two ponds, although this one isn't a pond technically, yeah, it's just hot, and then all around it is areas of critical, like, generalness, ecology, species, the whole thing, and then the ASAC goes around it by another lap. And then over here we've got our core critical core aquatic habitat, core aquatic buffer, core buffer aquatic. It just balloons out. But
Sounds like a fitness plan.
yeah. And then I'm trying to keep the same blue and green jurisdictional layers
Mm.
as a constant in
Oh
here.
boy.
And in this case, they, I don't know, they're working on it. I mean, here, just pass it down if you want to.
What is it? I'm just curious, what's that right there?
That's the core aquatic habitat. That's that floodplain, the floodplain forest.
Makes sense. Right in behind.
Right in behind there?
So
Oh, right there, yep.
Oh, that's where the Nonococcus Brook flows
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
Nashua River.
Yeah,
this is where it gets messy right here.
that's cool.
Yeah, and so that's, you know, the ecosystem is a big deal. The wetland there is a big deal. The river itself apparently is a big deal.
Is, Stratton Hill.
Yep,
Right. You
yeah.
gotta keep your eye on that.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I have a little issue with Stratton Hill.
Yeah, it's a
We should-
special hill apparently from an ecology perspective, just like layers and layers and layers.
Yeah. There's a big dirt mound that's eroding into the wetland up there.
We're in the very back.
I'll wait till I get to my citizen concern.
That's got to be the one at the back.
Oh, member concern.
At some point,
Oh,
you know,
member, yeah,
yeah.
member concern, yeah.
Don't sell yourself short.
Okay.
I mean, you're a citizen too, but
Yeah.
I mean,
After this map at 8.5 by 11, that's gonna be your next 8.5 by 11 when I make up these binders of neat things that.
All right.
Yeah.
I have 3 children at home.
Yep.
Do you have any member concerns?
No,
As far as I know, the other day I came home and there were 4. So
in the shower.
not in the shower this
Okay,
time.
good.
Not in the shower.
Wait, what was that?
What? Do you have any member concerns?
What about shower?
Do you have any member
No.
concerns? George. Takashi.
No. You know.
Ms. Tillotson.
Just two, quickly. Molten property,
Stratton Hill?
Stratton Hill. There is, a beaver created wetland up in the back.
Way past the loop.
Way past.
Well, it's, the loop, it's on the loop. And there's a huge dirt mound, and on the back of the mound, and it's just all dirt. It's eroding kind of down into the wetland.
It would be
And the,
right here.
yeah,
Where?
It's this. So
it's,
you drive in the loop.
Oh,
yeah,
Remember, you cross under the power lines. You drive in the loop, and you come back over here. He's
Yeah.
got that big dirt pile.
right,
That was,
right.
yeah, that was pretty clay material.
It's where that hill was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's tricky
you
in the winter.
Yeah, you can see the the water level has risen to a point where now you can see the original, what's that plastic stuff that's called?
The silk fence?
The silt fence
The silt
behind the hay
fence,
bales.
yeah, is in the water now. And, half of it's covered with water and you can see half of it. So, I don't know what,
Well, the right thing for us to do is
what
to
we should do.
reach out to Mr. Moulton and let him know that his soil pile. So you should have contact info for Mr. Moulton. Please let him know that his soil pile in the back work
The
that
developer or
the developer who had so to put it in context, he had an order of conditions. He started the work, he ceased the work, and he made the mistake of letting his order of conditions run out. Now, on
Is
the
that-
other side of this,
Is that true?
Thought we reissued it, but we never got
he
the
never got the
mitigation.
mitigation plan, so he never received a new one.
Right.
He did let it run out in the middle, remember?
Right, yeah.
It was
That I remember, yeah,
he,
yeah.
he let it run out. He had to reapply.
Right.
That was for sure. But part of that, unfortunately for him, was he also had to come in with a mitigation plan, how he was going to do his plantings. He never came in with a plan.
Yeah.
So remember, this property touches this property, which is the other one that he owns, was part of however many acres he bought.
Mhm.
He's still working on this
Right.
work right over here in Groton. So you shouldn't have any trouble reaching him.
And so what am I actually talking about? The
What you're going to-
the erosion control, the pond?
Well, the answer is you have a pile of dirt that you disturbed under your original order of conditions, which is right now coming down the hill into the wetland area, into the wetland. would you please look at it and come tell us what you'd like to do about it, since you don't have an open order of conditions on your property?
I need to go for a visit, I suspect, huh?
I'd,
Up there, yeah.
it's a good walk.
I'll take it,
Yeah.
I'll walk
So
with you up there.
when you go
show
to that, you go on that, you're on that road, and then there's
The
a
little separate road that goes down the hill, down.
separate road?
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
it's just,
You know where she means. It's that
Right.
end. You go all the way to the end, and then he had a road that went down to where he was, at the
I'll
time,
go with you.
I could-
at the
Yeah.
time, remember the beavers weren't there.
Yeah,
At the time, there was a wetland at the bottom of the hill.
right,
So he was stockpiling material down there at the bottom.
yeah.
It was all surrounded, but he was stockpiling material at the bottom.
right.
So if the beavers did anything in the back there, it would have
Right.
brought the water up where he
Right.
was stockpiling.
Okay,
Right, right.
Let me know when you schedule that.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah. It would be perfect for Takashi to go because it would put some real teeth to it. For one thing, Mr. Moulton is presently, I assume, under orders of condition with you.
yes.
And number two, they're contiguous parcels. They're contiguous projects.
Mhm.
Mr. Moulton's project in Groton is the project in Ayer. The difference is that his project in Groton, he had more of the property ready, and so he went to work on that when the economy kicked back over. He hasn't gone back to this one.
So, Takashi, do you want to go out for a walk before getting in touch with them, or do you want to say, hey, we heard about this, I'm gonna go for a walk, and would you like to come, and we can all see it together for the first time? Do you have a taste preference?
Say that again?
Do you
In a
want
manner of
to,
speaking, I can call them up and say, hey, I had this report, I'm gonna go for a walk tomorrow at 9, meet you there, or I can go for a walk, see it myself, and then call them. And if you're gonna come along for this, would you like to be there for the, like, oh, look at this is surprising, I haven't seen this before, kind of thing, or?
Let me know when the first walk is, and if I can make it, I'll make it.
I tell you what, let me make a recommendation. The gentleman that we're talking about is a well-meaning and appropriate person to go on the walk together with.
Mm.
You're not going to end up fighting him out there about what's wet and what's not wet. So you might as well be respectful to Mr. Moulton and bring him with you and just say, I'd like to walk it on Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Does that work for you? Set up a time, walk it with Mr. Moulton. He's a great guy.
All right.
It won't be contentious, and he's going to be the first one to point out to you what he's going to do to fix it. So
Cool.
that's what I would do.
That simplifies things a bit.
It's not the kind of applicant where you have to have the pre-walk to make your battle plan. It's not him.
Yeah.
Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
I'd like to go with you. I'd like to meet him.
All right. So I'm gonna make an appointment with him, and I'll let you know what that is.
All right.
Good
Yeah,
enough.
let us all know.
Group
Nice
email.
guy.
Yeah, group email.
Nice guy. All right, that was your first point.
Okay, second point is pond water testing. I know I'm gonna bring this up earlier in the meeting. Is there any way we can start that process? Using monies that we
Well, that's a very good point,
internally?
Ms. Tillotson. I don't know why we wouldn't. For one thing, we have monies, so that's handy. I saw your two proposals, so do you have them handy?
I'm sorry, I do not.
Okay. So I seem to remember that one was very local and inexpensive, the other was Manchester?
Yeah, just
Manchester,
to have it in
New
New
Hampshire?
Hampshire, yeah.
No, sure,
Because-
sure.
Yeah, just as a comparison.
But it was more money. But it included the travel and,
Yeah, it included the travel, the pickup, the delivery. It kind of made it easier, I think.
sure,
But-
if we didn't have a place that we could do it at 1.2 miles away from the
Right,
ponds.
we'd have to, drop off.
Yeah. So this is,
Right, right.
so we just happen to be lucky.
Right, exactly.
I just don't remember what the cost comparison was.
Yeah, it was just probably a couple $100 off. Wasn't that much of a difference.
Unless you're only dealing in hundreds for your budget, so.
Didn't our DPW director say he had
Sorry.
some?
So,
Okay, I could bring those in next meeting.
well, I don't see any reason not to start it. Of course, then we get into the whole, okay, so then we've got to
Then-
develop a protocol.
Right, right.
And my feeling would be, is that we do it ourselves for the first year and then,
Yeah,
and then take on the risk of bringing in other applicants, but let's learn all the back and forth ourselves.
right, right,
There's always something that seems evident and isn't,
right.
so. always. So,
So we should discuss logistics of that at our next meeting.
well, let's talk about what the money is for the pricing and for the testing, right? And then at that point, we can talk about, okay, so I want to take water samples and have them tested. So where am I gonna go? When I take the samples, what do I have to do to protect them and take them and haul them over? When I drop them off, are there certain business hours? Do they have a box outside? What do I affix for a label? Like the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, yeah.
How do I go from, I took water out of the pond on Tuesday and here's a written report?
And where? Like,
What happens from, right, sample size, sample place,
Yeah.
et cetera.
Sample container.
Well, that's, again, that really should come from them.
That's
Yeah.
them, that's them. But I think it's more, you know, where, because you have to sample it at a certain location, right? And have that be consistent
Right.
every time you sample.
To me, there's,
Who's gonna sample, right? I mean, I'm volunteering, but, you know, others might.
no,
as
I think,
well, right?
I think we'd all love to give it a shot, even if we met out there with a cup of coffee and did it. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, to me, the first one is the bridge at Sandy Pond where it goes into Flanagan's,
Right.
and then the bridge at Flanagan's where it leaves Flanagan's Pond.
right, right.
You know, just figuring out what the difference was from here to here and here to there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would say probably that would be a good Saturday, you know, for the first round.
Sure.
Do Saturday
Yeah.
site collection, and then we
Yeah.
can take photos of the exact location also.
Yep.
Yep. And then I have, you know, on your cell phone, you know, there's GIS, right? You know exactly the satellite location of where you are, right?
Really?
Well, it's especially easy when you go right next to the bridge. And-
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's the other reason.
Pond.
That's the other reason not to, you know, not to be smart about it, but that makes it foolproof, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Do it
almost
right
at the
there.
point where
Yeah.
I'm about to get a real phone.
Right.
I'm
Are you
almost-
really?
Yeah,
This close.
for the camera and then for like, the GPS and other things.
You have a baby. That's right. How did you get this long without a real camera?
Yeah, I'm realizing I'm missing out on too much.
Yeah. Well, with that in mind, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
You had a chance. What do you got?
What was our latest status from Geosyntec? They have our comments. We're just
Nothing.
waiting for
As of Sunday, nothing.
Sent it.
He did
He
send
sent
an
in-
email.
Sent it.
He sent me an email that said he would tell me what his issues were. Did he send something between Sunday and today?
No, but
No, this is like
we're just-
texting on the first date. You know, you have to wait longer than the other person did.
So, skipping over that, no, this was more like putting a marriage proposal on the table at the first date. We told them exactly what we were looking for, and we haven't heard back. So I don't know what that means. Kind of odd. Either they're so busy that he's getting to it when he gets to it, or he determined that the $16,000 isn't worth the issue. I don't know.
Which would be great, because then they can do more water testing.
Ooh.
Well, it also gets tricky though, because then
Legally.
by definition we need to modify the contract, go back to them, get them to sign off that they agree they don't want the $16,000. This is a town. This isn't a you never came to us, we're not going to pay you. This is we need to document it and discuss it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
discussion.
Did you have anything else on that, dear?
No. I was just trying to find the email, but
George, you had a motion to adjourn.
Yes, I did.
And Takashi, you were seconding that, weren't you?
I can.
That's what I thought. All in favor say aye.
Uh,
Aye.